What's up, everyone? It's you're watching Talking Ball. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and so does my co-host Tiago.
Boom.
What's up, big dog?
Depressed about Spurs, but apart from
But
Spurs, I'm
aside from
doing
that,
good.
though, aside from that, you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good deal, man.
Enjoying the heat, sweating like a pig, but
That's good for you, man. Sweat out all those toxins.
yeah,
You know.
sweat all the
Um,
alcohol. But
so it sounds like you don't have a separated shoulder and broken collarbone.
no, I don't. I don't.
Well,
Thankfully.
I was gonna say that makes one of us, and so yeah, surgery Wednesday though. It'll all be fixed. I'll be like a robot. I'll have some extra parts, some new pieces. But it's stops at airports maybe, but it'll be worth it. But man, so hey, good day, Bryce. How was that? Rate Bryce. Will you rate that 1 out of 10?
Royce. Yeah,
Good
nine.
day, Bryce. And it looks like you're our one viewer right now. So Bryce, it is really, really good to have you here, man. It's so good,
The
and
special one.
you're a very special person in
Yeah.
both of Tiago and I's lives. And we just wanted to kind of get on here. Man, it's been a shitty week to be a Spurs fan. What
Yeah.
with what with the
Shitty
match
weeks, been
itself.
shitty years.
Hey man, hey, but I mean, but let's be honest. We've had some ups and some highs this season, but this week though has been particularly shitty. I mean, between the loss itself, the
Yeah.
media, what they had to say, it's just not been fun. Conte's own comments, I mean, have been cause for concern, and um, it's getting better. 7 out of 10. Yes, that's awesome. That's awesome, man.
And that's very
Um,
good.
I'm working really hard, so that's 70. That's passing. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just been a bad week. Um, so Tiago and I are here to talk about it some more, and make everyone think about it, bring it back up.
Yeah.
Uh, so let's go back, and the Middlesbrough game is about to start. Tiago, you see the lineup. Were you
Yep.
happy?
Yeah, I am. I mean,
Oh,
I
Goguma's here. Hi, Goguma.
안녕하세요, Koguma. Um, I was happy because it's the line of the big city.
Right. It seems
I
like
was,
it
was
seems like
also
our strongest
saying,
lineup.
yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean? Like on paper, at least,
yeah.
it was the best we had. I see what
I
you mean.
thought I thought Bergman was gonna start. I'm gonna be really honest. I thought Bergman was gonna start and Sonny would be on the bench, so he
Yeah,
could get some rest.
and I,
But
I
yeah,
agree with you there. And the fact that Bergvines looks so good in his cameo appearances, I thought for sure that he would get the start there. Scott M, what is up, man? Very good to see you as always. Hope you are doing okay in Canada.
our favorite
Uh,
Canadian, don't tell Cody.
don't tell Cody. But yeah, it's
Speaking
good to
of
have.
Cody, wait, we need to do this. Boom.
Oh, boom.
Eh.
Speaking of Cody, that's how I want everyone to remember him. We've got that saved just for occasions like this one. But so yeah, I mean, you were excited. I on the other hand, I saw it and I thought maybe there's room for some more rotation here. We the, those players weren't very fresh. That
I wasn't excited because after Leeds, we didn't make a show after Leeds, of course.
Well,
So
and
we
we
didn't
know
get
we
to
know
talk.
Leeds play a game where their
Yeah,
Leeds play a style of football where they push up so far and leave such a gap.
yeah, that's
Uh,
what I was gonna say. Like, even though we beat Leeds 4-0, you cannot overlook the fact it's Leeds.
yeah,
It's a team that set up
lads, it's
for us to
Leeds,
win. Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I was like, the result was good because we slapped them 4-0, and we know very well that it could have gone the other way around with Spurs. Dr. Spurs could have just showed up and we would have lost that game. But we won, and it was a good result. It was a good game. 4-0, we played well. We were in control of the game. But then against Middlesbrough, I was like, yeah, these guys are just gonna sit back and wait, and we're gonna struggle because we know that that's how it goes with us. So I was more confident because it was our strongest 11. So I was like, okay, so Conte's taking the competition seriously, very
Yeah, no,
seriously.
that was awesome. That was great. I thought for sure, we're
Yeah.
at least through to the next round. It seemed like a no brainer. But look, we have somebody in waiting in the back room. It's Coach Stell. What's up, my man?
Hello, Colin. Hello, Tiago. I've got the camera off because I'm just about recovering
You're
from
naked right now.
whatever, yeah, whatever man flu I've had for the past 3 days. But
Oh
yeah,
man, I didn't know you were sick, man. I'm glad you. Hope you're feeling better.
yeah, that's why I've not been on YouTube.
Okay, all right. Well, that makes a lot of sense. It did seem very Stell-less. But yeah, man. Good to see you. Good to talk to you. We got Aaron in the chat. Oh,
Now make the Irish accent.
oh, good God. No, thank you. I don't want to. The Irish. No, that was bad. We're gonna pretend that didn't happen.
Yeah. Okay, let's
So
move on.
all right. So Coach Stell, I wanted to talk to you about your tweets from like the last like day or so. Is that cool?
Hmm.
Can we talk about them?
We could talk about anything you want,
Sick. Okay, cool. Well,
except for my family.
oh, well, that's okay. Yeah, we don't. I don't want to talk about mine either. All right. So, uh, we I'm on Twitter and I see your tweet. And for one, the other day, just to give you like a little background story, like I shattered, not shattered, but I snapped in two places my clavicle, and then I pulled, sorry, ripped all the ligaments in my shoulder. And so I'm on some like pain medication. I'm in a bad mood, you know what I mean? But I'm scrolling through Twitter and and I see your tweets and where you say that it's it's the fans, 99%, 99.99% of the fans are the ones that are to blame, um,
Hmm.
about about where Tottenham are, I guess, as a club and our standing and where we are, why we're trophyless, et cetera, et cetera. And I got like offended. And I'm looking back at it now, and I'm like, holy shit! I was, getting a little too angry, a little too easily. But like, can you explain exactly what you mean? Because I feel like there's more than I feel like maybe at least your percentages are off, or like, I think there's a lot more fans that care than you think. Maybe if you really think that those percentages are, you know, correct.
Yeah, I mean, you can care, but showing it is a completely different thing. You can
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
can love your kids, but do you tell them you love them? Do you hug them? Do you look after them?
I've heard
So,
you use this analogy with people before, which is yeah, and
s-
yeah, I understand and I agree. Um,
action is what you'll be judged by. We're not judged by the words we say. We're judged by the actions we take. And I'm just at a point now where, for about a year, I've had nothing but bullshit from certain fan channels, and I've listed them all. I won't mention them because it's your show, and I don't want to disrespect your show. You can go on my Twitter and see which channels I've mentioned. And when I've contacted all of those channels and said to them, why are you not telling the fans to take action and stand up against Levy and Enoch and to promote boycotting the club shop, promote not buying beers and pies and drinks in the stadium, to promote getting up and just walking out, or having Levy out, Enoch out chants in the stadium, or going to protest? Why aren't you promoting any of this? And if you disagree with any of these things, why don't you put a plan forward and suggest what we can do? And all of them, they either block me or
and so what you're
they
saying is
they they
since they
they, they
have they
don't want
have
to
an
have the
influence,
conversation.
but you're saying since these channels have an influence, they've got an audience that they reach. That you're saying they kind of have a duty almost if they really want the club to be better to change.
They've got a combined audience of almost 500,000.
Yeah, so you're right. I'm finding myself disagreeing with you less, like when we actually talk, which is why I wanted to have you on here and wanted to talk rather than, you know what I mean, like have this all go through like a Twitter exchange where, you know, it's
Colin,
easy
let me
to
tell you something.
misinterpret tone and.
let me tell you something.
Yeah.
With everything I put forward, there's an excuse, right? I've heard more excuses than these people have had hot dinners. It's unbelievable the amount of excuses they come up with, right? I'll give you an example. Protests don't work. Okay. How would you know if you haven't tried it?
Yeah.
They have got no answer. Then they say, but we're not Oil FC, nor's Leicester City and nor's Liverpool, and they've won more trophies than us in the last 5 years. That excuse has gone out the window. Well, what if we're disagreeing with protesting? Fair enough. Then you have to agree that fans aren't taking action.
Yeah.
Then they've got no answer to that. Then they'll say, oh, but you're so toxic, you put us off the protest. So there's 3 million UK Spurs fans. I don't know more than about maybe 50 of them. So 3 million fans don't turn up to the protest because of me. I don't know how ridiculous you can be. If you get invited to a wedding, but there's someone at the wedding who you don't like, do you not go to the wedding and miss out? Or do you go to the wedding because you really want to be at the wedding? You go to the wedding. So you don't miss out on a protest if you really want to be there. It's excuse after excuse after excuse, and I've called them all out. And the shitstorm that's been created. And I've got fans private messaging me, Stel, good on you, keep it up. Stel, I've got your back. Stel, don't worry about the haters. And then I've got the other fan absolutely crucifying me, calling me every name under the sun.
So can you agree that the way that you present it is extreme? And I don't like, and I'm not insulting you when I say that, but you present like all caps. It's like a very since I know what you sound like. Whenever
I went full throttle.
I hear you.
I went full throttle.
I would say I hear you screaming at me when I read them because I know your voice, and like that's just how I read things. But like, do you think that maybe you would have a better like response to things if you were more chill, or have you been more chill in the past and it just hasn't been heard, and you're at a point now where you're like,
Colin, I tried that approach and they blocked me because they were embarrassed that they weren't speaking about it. Because what you've got to understand with all these channels is they care so much about being liked, and God forbid someone dislikes them, they'll just target you and try and make you out to be something you're not to protect themselves. Right. And a lot of these channels, they do care about YouTube income and they do care about super chat money. That's why whenever you go on their shows, make sure you get your super chats in, get your super chats in, get your money in, get your super chats in. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Why would you say all that unless you care about your channel and the money and the growth? It's utter nonsense. I'm not ashamed to say that I say hit the like and hit the subscribe because I want my channel to grow. Because the more it grows, the more people I can say leave you out to and Enoch out to, and I'd admit it. But don't pretend you're not the same on the other side, guys. And that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Scott M is one of those people that is 100% like against what I say. So, but he's allowed his opinion. I don't have an issue with it.
Wait.
No, I think
Scott M's on your side, man.
Saying that the argument.
Oh, sorry, Scott M. Buddy, sorry. Listen, I'm half ill. I read the first bit and I lost it, man. I take it back.
Yeah. I was gonna say Scotty was defending you on Twitter when I was being a dickhead earlier. So
I take what I just said about Scott M back, man. I'm semi-comatized here.
You're barely here. You're almost. Yeah.
Do you know who called out?
Thank you for coming on and for real. Yeah.
Scott M. Sorry, buddy.
Scott.
Sorry.
Yeah. All good. But okay, cool. This has been super educational for me, and like, feel like I've learned things. I feel like there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes on YouTube that I'm not privy to, you know. And I feel
Colin,
like that's
when Liverpool built their new stand, they put the ticket prices up really high for that stand, and I think the price was like £75 or £72 a ticket. And all the Liverpool fans in that stand on the day it opened, on the 72nd minute or whatever the price of the ticket was, they all got up and they walked out the stadium during a live match on Sky. It made the front pages, the back pages, Sky. It was awful press for Liverpool FC. The Liverpool owners came out and said, sorry, we're going to reduce the prices. Don't tell me protests do not work. When the ESL happened, Man United fans, they trashed the home game against Liverpool. Arsenal fans in their thousands descended on the Emirates twice. And what happened in the summer? Man United bought Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo. Whether it worked or not isn't my issue because there's more to things working than just buying players. But there was a response. Arsenal went and spent £160 million, more money than any other club in Europe. What did the
Right.
Spurs fans do? Fuck all. And what happened in the summer? Fuck all, Colin.
Fuck all.
I can't sit here anymore and say that it's the player's fault, it's the manager, it's Conte, it's the tactics, it's the sub. Emerson's rubbish, Doherty's rubbish, Winks is rubbish, ENIC out. I can't do it no more. The finger now has to be firmly pointed at the fans. And let me tell you something, Colin. Do you know how hard it is for me to come out and make that comment, knowing the backlash I'm going to get? But I'm not one of these fans. I say it as it is. And if people get offended, hey man, at least I'm living the truth. You continue living in denial. And that's how I look at it. And all those channels I listed, one by one, I can give you examples. Spurs Web, they told everyone not to go to the protest. The editor, Seb, on Twitter, it's all there. Go to the time, the couple of days before the 31st of January. He said, I'm not going to the protest and this is why. And then he gave a 16-page speech on defending ENIC and Levy. 3 weeks later, he's questioning the quality of players. It's absolute hypocrisy, man. Hypocrisy. Last word on Spurs. Oh, ENIC are the problem, Levy's the problem. Yet they all sit on the show with brand new Spurs merchandise. They've all got the latest tracksuit, the latest top. It's like, how can you tell fans ENIC are the problem when you're spending money on the merchandise? And they all say, oh, you know, the problem's at the top. But none of them, not one of them take action. None of them. Ricky Sachs, Lee McQueen, Frank Major, Crackers as well. He's so patronising, it's unbelievable. He says, well, if you don't like things, you can go to the protest and bounce up and down the high street. Why must you describe it as bouncing up and down the high street? Why are you depicting us like we're kids that don't know what we're doing? The audacity of you to describe us as children not knowing what we're doing. Why can't you just say, if you want to protest, protest. If you don't, don't. Why can't you just say that? So he's got to take digs. And then people have a go at me. Why are you having a go at last word on Spurs? I know what I'm doing, guys. I know what I hear.
Right.
So,
yeah, you're not doing it unprovoked, is what you're saying.
no, I'm not. I'm trying to point out to people that people that say, oh, but we have a very balanced show, like the Cheese Room. We have a very balanced show. We have guests that come on and we let them talk about ENIC and Levy and we have really good debates. I'm sorry, but having a chat with your buddies online is not taking action and it's not going to change a damn thing. What kind of an excuse is that? If you don't want to take action, then just come out and say, look, we don't want to take action. And you know what? That's fine, because then that confirms what I've said. The fans are the problem. They don't have the appetite to force the change. Arsenal, Man United, Liverpool, they have proven they can force change. We did it in the 80s, guys. We protested against Irving Scholar. We got him out. In the 90s, we protested against Alan Sugar. We forced him out. But now we're happy. We got a nice stadium. We get to the 5th round in the quarterfinals of the Cups. We were top 4 for 5 years out of 21. We're happy. It's unacceptable when I hear fans complain about tactics, players, managers and all this shit when it's obvious what the problem is. We have owners that are not 100% focused on the football team. And the football team needs 100% focused. They're focused on NFL, boxing fights, building property, building a cinema, building a leisure centre, all these things. How can you possibly focus on the football team with your whole heart and soul when you've got all these other things going on? That's what Tottenham needs, and they haven't got it in them to do it. If they wanted to, they could have. Look how successful that stadium build is. When you've got the mentality and the ambition, you can achieve. They've shown they can do it, but only in property. They don't give a shit about the football team, man. And for me, fans, sorry to say it, you're to blame. You choose to allow this to happen. And that was what my tweet was all about, Colin.
Don't need to say sorry. You honestly don't, because I 100% agree with you. And Colin was like, before the show, he sent me a message like, oh, do you think I should talk to Sal about his tweets? And I told Colin, look, you can talk about his tweets, but Stell's 100% right. Because these are the same guys that after one good game from these half shit players, they're going to defend them. It's the same guys that when we win, everything is good. And when we lose, it's Levy out. No, you got to be Levy out 100% of the time. It's still not good.
They're
Like,
easily pleased, Tiago. They're easily pleased.
they are.
They have. They have. That is what mediocrity is. When you're easily pleased, that is mediocrity. You're happy with the basics.
Yeah. Do you know who? I mean, I was actually kind of surprised because he's in a different level compared to these fan channels. But Alistair Goat posted a video today, and his video is awesome because he goes like, "I've never been someone to blame the manager, but that's what the club has been doing for 21 years. We've had 12 managers in 21 years, and five and a half of those 21 years was under Pochettino, which means that we had 11 managers in the other 16 years." And he said, the truth is clear in front of Daniel Levy. It's not the manager. You gotta change. You gotta buy the experienced players. You gotta buy the players Conte wants. Like, I've never seen Alistair Gold being so direct about this topic like I've seen today. And it was not like he was reporting that, oh, they're saying the summer transfer window will be the biggest transfer window in our history. He was saying, no, it has to be the biggest one. It has to be the one that makes the change. We need at least 7 or 8 new players. And he said the inconsistency of the team comes from the top. Daniel Levy is the one that makes this team inconsistent because he wants young players that will develop, but he brings Antonio Conte, who doesn't want those players. He wants the winners.
I think what's happening is the pressure's building, and although I'm not a big voice, I contribute. And a lot of people are upset with what I've said, but they're all talking about it. And that's what I wanted. I wanted the conversation to open up. Yeah. Use me as a punching bag, it's fine. Right? Hate Stelios, it's fine. But as long as you're talking about the fans being a problem and ENIC being a problem, then good. And because that's happening, Alistair Gold can't ignore it. He can't ignore the sentiment of the fan base because people will start unfollowing him. So he's beginning to report it as well. And to be fair to Alistair, he's a fairly honest journalist as much as possible without directly attacking the club. Because I do guess if he does attack the club, he loses his job. So I give him that kind of... Although I don't like it, I understand it. But yeah, you're right. When he comes out and starts saying that, what more do you want? Who else do you want to listen to?
It's a different thing because he's a professional journalist. That's literally his real job, and he works for a well-known journal newspaper in London. So he needs to have that impartial thing of he cannot come out and say I'm Levy out. But today I was actually surprised. I was actually surprised with his video.
Tiago, we've got this massive weight on our shoulders at the moment, which is we don't win trophies anymore. We completely don't win trophies, and our fans are pathetic. They dismiss the European Conference Cup, which isn't just a trophy; it guarantees us Europa Cup, which is one step up from where we are. And a lot of fans celebrated, yeah, we're out of the competition. Now we can focus on top four and domestic trophies. And I said to fans, you're deluded. This is the best route we've got. This team isn't good enough. Now look, out of the domestic cups, top four isn't going to happen. I'm not buying it. And we've got fans that celebrated not going for that trophy. We've got to get this weight off our shoulders, man. We've got to win a trophy. Liverpool went through the same thing. 30 years not winning the league for Liverpool is unbelievable. It's unheard of for the biggest club in the country to not win the league in 30 years. But what happened? They changed their owners. They restructured the finances. They brought in one manager. He didn't win anything for 4 years. They backed him. He changed the entire squad. Pow! Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup, Super Cup, Charity Shield. They could do the quadruple this year. I'm not saying they will, but look what happens when you've got a weight on your shoulders. New owners come in. We've got a different way. We've got a way that focuses on that team winning the league. And we are going to get behind the manager. We're going to restructure our scouting. We're going to back the manager. Look what happens. Don't tell me Enoch and Levy come close to that, man. And fans need to stand up to it.
And I don't mean to like interject, but we have somebody in the back room waiting to come in. He does not need an introduction. As soon as you see him, you'll know he's the face of.
You know him. You love him.
Yeah, he's the face of Spurs YouTube. So Thiago, can you bring him in? I only have one hand.
Is it Alistair Gold?
It's Alistair Gold. I mean, it's
not
Brian
as good as Alistair Gold.
I've got a bone to pick with Brian. I tell you, I've got a bone to pick with my friend Brian.
No, let's have it, brother.
No, you go first, and then we'll chat. How you doing?
How's it going, my man?
Bro, first of all, it's good to hear that you're feeling better still.
I don't know. I'm just loads of paracetamol.
Okay, so you're back on the drugs, or back on the drugs.
Back on the drugs,
yeah. So listen. What can I say? Listen, the first thing I want to say in everything, and people, I said this before. I don't think a lot of people know the history with me and Stel. I've known Stel for over 30 years. He was at my bar mitzvah. I went to school with him. I became a teenager with Stel. That's how far we go back. He is a complete brother. I would die for this man. Die for him.
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
We're gonna prove it. We're gonna prove it next episode of this show.
Bromance.
Like I said, as I said, and I said this on Diamond's channel earlier, because I was just listening in the background, and when Stel said it's got people talking, my fucking word has it. Jesus Christ. What can I say? Listen, as I said, Stel has his way of doing it. I have my way of doing it. We both want the same message. We both want the same message. Me and Stel actually reconnected over this subject. The way Stel going about it, and Stel's heard me say it, because I know that's probably the bone he wants to pick with me, because I sent him a video, what I said on Dermot. Whether I agree with him doing everything, what he's saying is completely right, in some aspects, I'm 1 billion% with him. But there's slight parts that I'm kind of, that's not the avenue I'm going down. It's not for me to say that I'm right, he's wrong. It's just being done in a completely different manner. And what's starting to get to me now is there is a huge group of us, and I do mean a huge group of us, that are leaving out. They may not be as predominantly open as Stella and I are. I don't think, in all honesty, I don't think a lot of people are. Let's be serious. And it's just how you go about it. And one of the things I'm going to bring up is something that I saw happen with Matt Hayes. Okay, now I love Matt Hayes. I have no bad blood with him. Love him.
No beef. There's no beef here, Matt Hayes.
Absolutely none. And listen, I've had my fair share of beef since I've been going on We Are Tottenham TV when it first started, when I was going there, blah, 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 leaving that, blah, blah, blah. And it kind of changed with the Super League, and then more and more as time has gone on, more and more people have been like, oh my God, Brian, you were right. Oh my God, this was happening. So Matt Hayes was getting a lot of grief from someone. And there's been other people that have been getting a lot of grief from people. And because they have the hashtag Levy out, or Levy is a see you next Tuesday, automatically it gets labelled with the group that I'm with, or the people that are part of the. Just because everyone who is Levy out just has a hashtag, well, not everyone, but so many people that are Levy out have hashtag Levy out, automatically we get tarred that they're part of.
You're
group,
one of the crazies. You're one of the radical.
The NFL, the group that are. Well, we're not. We're not. I don't, only because listen. I do a huge thing, and the reason I don't go step. The only reason I'm not with Stel when he's attacking people and shit like that, which is if he listen, I'm not. Stel's not my keeper. I'm not Stel's keeper. As I said, if Stell needs me to go to war for him, I will go to war for him. If he was ever in any threat, danger, whatever, everything goes by the wayside with that, because he's someone that I've known and he is like family to me. Okay. But like I said, because I'm such a big advocate on here and do mental health and mental health specials and blah blah blah, I can't then say, oh yeah, I'm totally with you for going and doing that. Which I'm not saying Stell's doing this to affect people's mental health. His mental health's been affected, but it's not something I can get behind that part, and that's the only part that I'm not behind him with. Everything else, I stand
Right by
with
him,
Stell.
right with your man. And okay, and what I like best about this show is that it's pretty like diverse globally. And so we'll see what Ireland has to say about this whole situation. Welcome to the show, everyone. Aaron, what is up, my guy? How are you?
Well. I'm well. I'm a bit broken. I'm a bit smashed after everything that's gone on lately. I know. I mean,
The
Brian
game
and
broke me. The game broke me so bad that my collarbone snapped. It's all from the game. Like it's,
you know when I mean Brian was one of the first people I've interacted with in the whole community, as was Stell, as was Bobby, and it was all because we we're all preaching from the same hymn sheet, right? We wanted to bring bring it to people's attention about Levy, the damage that he's caused our club, and I had to get off social media, Twitter. I was receiving all sorts of threats, and and as Brian said, mental health, it literally like affected me to the point that I just got off all social media. But I don't think, as somebody mentioned
you got
earlier,
off. Wait, you got off on social media? This is a show for
no,
kids, man.
Colin, you're such a rude boy.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. But you got to get off of social media, which I don't blame you, man. I've thought about doing the same thing. It's rough out there.
I know Stell told me tonight to keep up the fight and that, but Stell, it wears me out, right? It burns me out, mate. But like, I'm not going to change my views or opinions about Levy or Enoch. I don't accept that we're being called toxic. I don't think anybody.
You told me the other day. You told me the other day that you loved Levy and Enoch, and now you're here saying,
mate, you're on the meds from the collarbone stuff, man.
No, I know. I just like messing with you. But no, so
I know.
Right,
but yeah, like it's
but
just.
I'm also on the meds for the collarbone, though. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, I know the effort Brian, Bob, Stell put in. I'm like my uncle, 80 years old. He's Levy out. I've tried to ask him to come on, get involved. He doesn't like going near the internet, but like there's people in the fan base that are apathetic, that will accept mediocrity, that will support Levy, and
right.
Calling us toxic for trying to explain a few issues or being open to discussion and explain why we are it's harmed a lot of us, I think. And Stell, you take care, man. Brian, you take care, and we just got to keep doing what we're doing. I know I have to do it from a distance. I'm not there. But
Yeah, that's what I find so hard. I feel bad. Like I almost feel like I'm no offense or anything. But still, when you posted the whole 99.99% of fans are to blame, I was like, am I part of that 99.99%? And maybe I am. And maybe I need to do more. And maybe I need to.
No.
You know what I mean?
I need to clear something up there. So when I said that, what I was referring to is from what I've read, and I can't prove it, but what I've read is we've got 3 million fans in the UK. So if only 20 turn up to a protest, 99.9999% don't do anything, right? That's how I look at it.
Okay,
regarding the overseas fans, I'm not addressing my message to the overseas fans. And in hindsight, I should have maybe put a disclaimer, not applied to overseas fans. But overseas fans, what can you do? Back the protesters, retweet the protests, tell fans to boycott the club shop, tell fans you want to see Chance Levy out. You can spread the word and share the message. That's really all you do, I guess. And when you go on these shows that don't back taking actions, you can put comments and say, but guys, why do you talk about it but do nothing about it? I don't understand. You can do so as an overseas fan, you can do something. But I'm mainly addressing all the fans who are based in the UK.
So I just want to. You understand what I was saying when I was speaking, yeah?
Yeah, but what I disagree with what you said, Brian,
Go on.
and like I said, it's just opinion. That's all, nothing else.
Yeah, of course it is, mate. This is
When
you and me
you
talking to each other.
when you said, you kind of disagree with the way I'm going about it, nothing has worked, man. Like nothing. And the
No, you're
people,
right.
yeah, and the people I've targeted, I haven't done it because I hate them. I've done it because for 2 years, for 1 year, I've been engaging with them, and I'll give you an example. There's so much like I've kept to myself, and I've now said enough is enough. Last word on Spurs. They threatened to report me unless I did A, B, and C. I told them to go do one. Then they sent me a
who?
then because they didn't like something I put up online. But it's because what they did was they called my name out on their show, and I clipped what they said about me, and I said, "Isn't it great when people talk about you, but they don't let you come on the show to stand up for yourself?" And they said, "Take it down." I said, "No, you mentioned my name. Take your video down." And they refused to take the video down. So then they kind of threatened to report me and do this and that. So I hit them with legal litigation, and they shat themselves, and they all backed off. Right? So when I target Last Word on Spurs, I don't do it because, oh, I hate them. There, no, there's history there. You can't target me for being Levy out, and then using me as content for your show, and then when I show the content you're creating off my back, you've got a problem. I don't know what planet you live on, man, and I don't know what kind of person you think I am. To be fair, you kind of mixed it up with the wrong guy. I'm not going to step back from that. Not just them. The cheese room did something similar, if not worse.
Okay, so I didn't know
Right?
about the beef with them because they've always been nice to me. Yeah.
Colin, you stay nice with everyone. Brian, stay nice with everyone. Tiago, everyone stay. But I asked all these channels, all of them, Spurs Web, Cheese Room, Expressions, all of them, Last Word. Why aren't you talking about Levy and Enoch out and asking for fans to take action and say enough is enough? Man United fans have done it. Arsenal fans have done it. Liverpool fans. Why are we not standing up? You have got the voice. You've got the numbers listening. You've got the platform to channel the energy behind some kind of plan to change what is going on. You don't want to protest, fine. Come up with a plan. I'll back it. You do it then. And all I do is I get blocked. I get blocked by all of them. They want to silence the conversation. But now the shit's hit the fan. Oh, they're all talking about it now because the subscribers want to hear it. Don't tell me it's not about money and it's not about growing your channel. It fucking is.
Oh, it all is everything. Yeah.
And they're upset. They're upset that I've called them out for it. And then one person to me today said, "Oh, you're a joke. Why don't you go after we are on TV?" And I said, "Are you stupid, man? Ben was a protest. Oh, you're full of shit. You should be tough." And then Will Stewart, thank God, came in. He had a photo of Ben holding up the Enoch out banner outside the stadium. I said, "There you go. Stop targeting me without facts." And as for this thing with Matty Hayes, this is... I'll be careful now. I posted a comment a long time ago, something along the lines of, "Oh my God, Spurs have kept a clean sheet 3 games in a row. That's mental." As in, that's crazy. We don't do that, right?
Yeah.
He then had a go at me for using the word mental, and I said, "Matt, look at the context."
Like mentally retarded. Is that what he was trying to say?
Whatever his interpretation was, and I replied saying, "Look at the context I used it in, buddy. Please don't throw that at me." Anyway, he blocked me, and I thought that's pathetic. That's absolutely pathetic. How am I supposed to engage with someone like that now? Then he unblocks me, and he made a comment about how I'm saying this story to clear what's really going on because I'm not having it. And he made a comment saying, "Why do fans expect Antonio Conte to win his first game? He's only just started because we drew against Everton." And I said, "Matty Hayes, it doesn't matter if it's his first game. Jose Mourinho won his first game against West Ham 3-2. And he replied saying, "Yeah, but Antonio Conte needs a pre-season." I said, "Jose Mourinho never got a pre-season. What's your point?" And do you know what he did? He called me a fucking idiot. He goes, it's like talking to a fucking idiot or a fucking kid. So I replied to him saying, Matty, with all due respect, I used the word mental and you blocked me. You calling me a fucking idiot, tell me how that mentally helps me, mate. And do you know what he did? He blocked me. So I'm not having it from him. I'm not having this bullshit. I'm not your punching bag when it suits you. And today, after 4 months, he unblocks me to have a go at me. You don't pick and choose when you talk to Stelios. I will decide if I'm going to speak to you now. So I engaged with him for a bit, then I blocked him. I don't need it. I don't need it. He's not Enoch out, Levy out the way I am, and nor is Irish Hotspur. I was in a WhatsApp group with Irish Hotspur. He said, I can't be part of it because Levy out is toxic and fans like you are toxic. Like, who are you calling toxic, man? Who are you calling toxic?
That's what the fuck does that word even mean nowadays? Anyway?
I don't understand.
And to help us maybe find an answer to this.
I don't understand what they're on about.
I'll tell you now. Oh, my God,
I didn't even see.
He's only got one name. He's only got one name. Listen, that word toxic has been taken wildly. It's become one of those words that now just get branded about.
Brian, it's part of their excuse list. It's part of their excuse list.
No, but I'm not. But still, I'm not using just Levy out as a thing. It's one of these words that have now come into the world. Like for instance, though, when you use that word mental, what people have got to remember, and this is when me and Stel were growing up, people used to go mental as some kind of joke. It wasn't a thing. It was just something we grew up with. We didn't even really know what it meant. But now, obviously, with mental health and whatever, it's taken a complete different meaning. And this word toxic has been branded whenever anything gets big and there's a divide.
She did. It's
One
a good
thing's
song,
toxic
Kim.
and the other one, the righteous believe that, or whatever, one's toxic, one's right. That's what it becomes. It's not, okay, there's a common ground or middle. That word just gets used like a word it did on the playground. Like when I start picking up Canadian slang, or you start saying apple and pears for stairs. It's just become a word associated.
Wait, apple and pears for what?
Stairs. Cockney rhyming slang.
Never heard that one.
Yeah, well, don't worry. I mean, Stelios, me and Nick, and Aaron probably to an extent, could have a conversation in fluent English, but you wouldn't have a clue what we were saying, which was the whole reason.
I've been there I've been to the UK for a couple of weeks. Okay, I probably can pick up on what you're saying.
But I haven't. So let's stay in this one.
Okay, if I just said to you, I'm going to the nuclear substance and Britney Spears, what am I doing?
You're going to get some Britney Spears CDs at a place at a CD store.
No, I'm going to the pub for a couple of beers.
No, wait.
Brian,
Wait, speak that slowly.
Everything is an excuse. Oh, it's toxic. Oh, you're negative. Oh, it's just an opinion. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Honestly, they are full of excuses. And as soon as you get to the point, and as soon as you challenge what's said, they either turn against you and target you, or they block you. They can go kiss my ass, because do you know what? I'm on Henry Wright's channel on Saturday, just he and I. I'm going full throttle on everything I said. I've just started. Saturday night, everyone tune in, because I am going to.
I'm on your side. I don't want
Colin,
any smoke.
I know what's what. Don't worry, buddy. I know what's what.
Right,
on Saturday, I'm going to bring the smoke, because the heat I got today was unbelievable. But the support I got was just as promising. So for me, it splits opinion. Fair play.
Yep.
This fan base is going to wake the fuck up, or I'm going to keep going at them one by one by one. It's unacceptable, man. It's not on.
Yeah.
Lads, I'm going to have to drop off. So just on that with the rhyming slang thing, I'm off for a pedal and crank, a wank. Yeah, Barry's going to take over there. And, no, I'm just kidding, lads. I have a call coming in from the order expected soon, but I'll be listening.
Just go have your wank and a nap.
Enjoy the pedal, Aaron. Enjoy the pedal.
All right, cheers, lads. Have a good one.
See you, mate.
See you later.
Listen, guys, sorry if I come across a bit harsh and a bit too much, but I'm just fed up of it, man. For 1 year, I've had nothing but bullshit from all these people, and I just thought, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah.
Honestly,
See,
you know, one of the Spurs community guys, I won't tell you who, he pulled me to one side, a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Stel, do you know what? Don't give a shit about anyone who doesn't know you. Anyone who does not know you, do not give a shit what they think." And ever since he said that to me, I thought, you know what? He's right. He's absolutely right. If you don't know me, why should I care about what you think? If I don't know you, you shouldn't care what I think about you either. And that's just how I look at it now. I'm not going to
That's
watch
a better way to
another
live your
21
life.
years of
I
this,
mean-
Colin. I'm not watching another 21 years of this. Moaning, complaining, blaming. Oh,
Well,
Doherty's
I'm
rubbish.
with ya.
Wiggs is rubbish. Conte's not the right manager. Oh, the big summer spend is coming. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Well, Stel, you know I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I know.
My trust fund opens up this summer, and I'm just going to donate a lot of it to Spurs. I'm going to buy us a player with my.
Don't do that. Don't give him the money.
I want you to answer
He'll
the
keep
question,
half of it.
Colin, I want you to answer the question, which is, what is a dog and bone?
Oh, yeah,
Dog and
put
bone.
it up again.
Oh, that's what Fitzy was asking.
I'm not even gonna try because I'm gonna embarrass myself. So.
What does it rhyme
Like a
with? Think
cigarette.
about what it rhymes with.
Why are you giving it away?
It's
So
helping me, that's-
I'm trying to help Mr. Daigle.
I honestly don't know.
He
Something
still
Right.
won't get it.
Come on, Colin. What?
Okay, you want a clue?
Yeah, okay.
Please, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
He's giving you a clue.
Phone.
What did you say, Tiago?
Phone.
A dog and bone, a telephone.
Oh,
Nah.
what
no.
the hell? That's so weird. But okay.
But you were here, Colin, and you think you can get by?
I thought I was good, but apparently
Why
not.
do you guys have to be so weird?
I'll tell you why they do it.
No, British
Okay,
people
now, Tiago,
in England, they have like cute names for
Tiago,
everything. They don't call them
the-
trash bins. They call them wheelie bins. There's like an
okay.
adorable fucking name for
Tiago.
everything there.
Let me say, the reason that this came up was from when the East End gangsters started talking, and they wanted to talk a language. So if any police were about, they couldn't understand what they were saying. They started talking like this. So the police could walk in and they could have a conversation, and no one would have a clue what they're saying, as has been proven. But back to the main.
Colin,
the main,
sorry, Brian, just one quick
Go
thing. Colin, what it is Americans are very, very literal. Like, you literally describe exactly what it is. So you call it a sidewalk because you walk on the side of the road. We call it a pavement. You're just very, very literal with the only one I don't get is a freeway.
Well, we call it an elevator, and you call it a lift. A lift seems
Yes.
more practical than.
Lift you up.
But yeah, I know what you mean. It's very weird. Just like the.
And you know what?
differences and things.
You saying that, Colin? The word elevator. I when I'm back in Canada, whenever I find myself saying the wrong word and not the English word, I scream it to myself, like literally scream it. And I was literally getting into a lift, talking to my wife at Booking.com. There was like 16 people in the lift, and I said, "Honey, I've got to go. I'm getting in the elevator." And then I realised what I said, so I screamed at the top of my voice, "Lift, lift! I'm getting in the mother lift." 16 people looked around like, "What the fuck?" And started pushing to get off as early as possible.
You're like, I'll get the next one. I'll get the next one. Don't worry. I'll catch the next elevator.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Exactly.
Jesus.
But listen, on that note, I'm going to let you all go. So I've got
Alright,
things
well.
to do. And
It's
tomorrow
been great.
is my
It's been
last-
great having you.
tomorrow is my last full day. It's going to be an emotional one for me because I'm saying goodbye to my nephews and my niece tomorrow.
Oh
so
man.
What
I'll
time
be
is
spending
Saturday?
as much time- Saturday, about 2:30, bro.
Until.
Until whenever.
All right, because I'll finish at 3. I'll probably be there about 4.
Yeah, no worries, brother. No worries.
All
I'm
right.
going to still be there. And
Cool.
it's not going to be like an all-nighter because I've got to be at the airport for 8 in the morning. I've got to go have my COVID test at that place by the post office still in Southgate by the college on Saturday.
Yeah, I know.
So I will see you there, mate. It's good to hear you're on the mend. And like I said, and people need to remember this. I will always have Stell's back. Always.
What about me? What about me? We always have my back.
I've got your back, but
See?
Stell's got 30 years in the bank.
I know. I'm working
Stell's
on it.
got 30 years of credit.
I've
And as
got
I said,
almost,
Stell
I've got
knows,
almost
Stell,
one.
Right.
listen, Stell knows what I said because I sent him the video to listen to him play it. Like I said, the message he's getting across, I completely stand with Stell. Parts of it I don't, but I stand with him. So, if you know what I mean. And Stell, you
Look,
know that, don't you?
Daigle, at the end of the day, right, the message is clear. Fans need to wake up because you can't complain and moan and do nothing about it. So for me, fans are the problem. The method I used isn't everyone's cup of tea, but I'm sorry, people are talking about it. You, that's it. That's it.
Complete. Still, I'm completely.
I don't know what everyone's saying, obviously, because I'm out of the loop. But I can. My ears have been burning all day, which means there's a lot of gossip going on in the background with other people.
I haven't been checking into everything. Obviously, I went to see Bob today and everything.
I'm sure opinions have been flying around all day.
Oh wait, yeah, you know it's gonna happen. Like what happened when I first turned up at the training ground, mate.
I only see what people send me on Twitter. That's all I see today. Whereas in I'm sure everyone's WhatsApps has been going mental and not mental, wild.
Yeah, don't get me in trouble, man.
Me not so much. I mean, I've literally, like I said, I've been with Kim today and went to see Bobby and said goodbye to Bob because I won't see him before I fly back. So that's what I've been doing today, the main thing. But
did you guys kiss?
Well, a man never tells.
All right, yeah, true. Keep that.
Did I get? Of course, I gave him a kiss goodbye. I gave him a kiss on the cheek. Of course, I did, man. This is my brother, so no shame in that whatsoever. But Barry, Nick, Shaw, Bill, Grant, Radget, Bruce, all the fucking other names you've got. I'll see you Saturday. Speak to you soon. Colin, I'll be back on your side of the pond very, very soon. Tiago, speak to you soon, brother. Still, much love, brother, and we'll speak soon.
Hey,
see you Saturday.
See you Saturday.
See you later, brother. Bye bye. Oh, and as always, Levy out.
And he's gone just like that. He disappears into the wind. Everyone, that was Brian Daigle. If you don't know him, you're stupid because he's everywhere. He is, a big part of the Spurs online community. I mean, he's a big chunk of it.
Imagine I called someone stupid.
Hey.
Just imagine.
We've got Brian. So yeah, we've got some people in the chat still hanging out, which I appreciate. It's always good to have you guys. But yeah, so another thing. Okay, so here's something I wanted to just throw at you, Stel, and this is gonna sound so shitty for me because you have one, and it sounds like I'm targeting you specifically.
No, say it, man.
I'm not exactly. So okay, what about people with season tickets? Like, aren't they still like paying tons of money to the club? Like, should they like not do that?
So I'll tell you why I've got a season ticket, and that's all I can do.
Like I'll tell you, I've had to like work up the not courage to ask exactly, but like I feel like an asshole.
No.
I know you have one.
I'll tell you why. I can protest inside the stadium. So when we lost 3-0 to Man United, I was able to shout, "We want Levy out. We want Levy." I was able to do that. I can go and help and hold banners, Profit Before Glory, Enoch out. If I give up my season ticket, the biggest problem I've got is this. God forbid one day things change and we fix up. I want to be there to be a part of it. And if I give up my season ticket, I'll miss out on all of that. So I don't want to give it up for those reasons. And also, I want to pass down my season ticket to family members once I'm gone. I waited 10, 15 years to get a season ticket. Yeah. And literally, as soon as I got it, I caught the last couple of years of Poch and then the last 3 years. So 5 years I've had a season ticket. And I'm not going to give it up just like that because I hate the owners and I dislike the owners and I dislike Levy. They're not big enough of a reason for me to give up my season ticket. And if I don't want to go to a game, I just put it up on the exchange and I sell it to someone else. The truth is, Colin, I can give up my season ticket tomorrow. Someone will buy it within 10 minutes.
And you know what? They'll probably care a lot less than you do about the club and the direction that it's going.
The waiting list is massive, dude. There's something like 8,000 fans didn't renew in the summer. All those season tickets got sold. I know people that were 32,000 on the list got a season ticket. So even people in the early part of the list, the waiting list, declined it. And that just goes to show you, there are fans that are giving up the season tickets, but I've waited so long for it, I'm not going to give it up just like that. If this carries on and on and on, then you know what? I will seriously consider giving it up. Or renting it out to someone else each year, saying, look, it stays in my name, but you pay me the money and you... Because that's how I got my season ticket. I did that because someone got fed up and they said to me, Stel, do you want it? I said, okay. And I paid them the money each year, but it was under their name. Then eventually I said to them, look, are you ever going to go? And they said, no. I said, well, can I just buy it? Can I just transfer it to my name? And they said, yeah. And that's how I got my season ticket.
Okay, that's cool.
So that's my reason for it. And I do understand that a lot of fans will use that as a weapon against me, saying,
Well, I'll be honest. I kind of did on Twitter earlier when I was in my little rage. Like
I didn't see what you said. I just got a text from someone saying, call Colin, he wants to apologise. I'm like, why? What's he done? I had no idea.
I swear, I know it sounds insane. It's the pain from this stupid shoulder, and then the pain medication just makes me wild. I just get in arguments with everybody about everything. So,
I understand.
I can't imagine you being like that, Colin.
I was just like being a really big dick. So
He was on
apologies.
drugs. That's why.
But just to back Stel's comment up, right? I was 36,000th on the season ticket waiting lists, and I got my season ticket. And this is the first season I've had it. And okay, I've been to games, I've been to a number of games before, but I don't want to, I've just only got it, right? So I could quite easily give it up, but I don't want to for the same reasons that Stel doesn't want to. That's not to say that me and Stel are in a season ticket relationship, but like that. But it's the thing, right? We can go into the stadium, but actually, like Stel says, if we don't want to go to a game, we can give our ticket up. Or I've given my ticket up to people that have never been to the stadium that, for whatever reason, I'm not asking for money or what have you, but if they want to go and they support Spurs and they want to have that experience, I'd much rather give that to them rather than say, oh, I'm not going to go, I'm going to leave the seat empty or what have you. Do you know what I mean? I was in a similar position as Stel was. Someone was going to give their ticket away probably 2 years ago, and they did the very similar way in terms of, I'm not going to go. You can have it for the season. It would stay in my name, and etc. etc. But I decided not to do that, and still managed to get tickets to the to the odd game. Probably 7 or 8 games that I went that season, but. Yeah, we for me now, it's more than just about everything that's going on. It's about the whole Spurs community and the ones that we've had. And Colin, I was unfortunate that I didn't get to meet you when you're over here. I mean, I might have got COVID by meeting you, but that wouldn't have been an issue, right? But
I seem like I think I was like the typhoid Mary over there.
But I've got to see Stel. I've got to meet him, and to put a name to a face and to have that relationship. And actually, it's
so you're a way different guy online than you are like even in a little video chat like this. And I know you are. I mean, we've talked many a time, and even though I don't agree with you and you're like online, I don't want to say persona because that's not exactly the word. You're not putting on an act, but you're almost an exaggerated version of yourself, and I feel like almost everyone is online. But yeah, I mean, we get along great. And whenever we're like talking like this,
because we know each other, Colin. That's what I'm saying. I literally do not care what people think of me if they don't know me, and I don't want anyone to care what I think if I don't know them either. Honestly, that's the best thing someone said to me in the past couple of weeks. It changed my perspective on a lot. look, this comment I made, this tweet I made, it's 1 year in the making. I didn't just wake up after Middlesbrough and say, do you know what? I'm going to have a dig at all the fans. This has been building up and building up and building up for some time. Listen, I was on We Are Tottenham TV a couple of weeks, and I made a comment saying this team's not good enough. They're always going to let you down. You wait and see. They'll let us down time and time again. Just when you think they got it right, they'll let us down. It's been the same story. These players will do it again. And then Danny Kiriakou came on straight after me, and he said the same thing. And then he had a go at Enoch and blah, blah, blah. And literally, the next caller comes in. I won't mention his name. But he just goes in on Danny and I. They're negative. Listen to what they're saying. It wasn't you, Colin. And he was just ripping me and Danny to pieces. Ripping us to shreds.
Was it?
I'm sick of this negativity. I'm sick of this defeatism. No, Jorical's a lovely guy. I like get on with Jorical. And he just kept peppering away at us, and then he goes, I prefer to be positive. Where's the positive energy go? We can't be like this, blah, 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 blah. Go and watch. Go and watch. Go and watch. Wait, go and watch. Go and watch. When we lost to Middlesbrough, he called in.
The fan show the morning after. I was almost...
No, that night, he called in.
Oh, okay.
The fan show after the match, he called in. Broken. Absolutely broken. He didn't know what to say. And I was thinking, should I put a super chat in saying, yo, buddy, now's a good time to apologise for all that negative vibes you sent us, man?
Yeah, I absolutely should have. I've almost used super chats
but I didn't.
To be an asshole before. I've really thought about it. Like if I get on
reload
the
behavior,
I don't like,
please. If I want to talk.
Of people you don't like, and then you can do a super chat where you advertise your channel, and then they like have to read it out.
Yeah, but Colin, the thing is, I don't know this guy. I've never mentioned anything to him. I don't know who he is. Even now, I haven't said anything to him. But he made it his purpose to dig out Danny and I. And I'm thinking, what's wrong with you people? That is what I said was my opinion. If you disagree with my opinion, why is it negative? Your opinion's different. Stick with your opinion. And then what I get is, and you'll see it floating around Twitter, oh, when Stel doesn't like your opinion, he blocks you. Stel can't disagree. No. My opinion is different to yours. But you just label me as negative because I've got a different opinion, and it's you that can't handle it. But yet you dump it on me. And Colin, I've had it for a year. I don't give a shit anymore. I'm hitting back at everyone. And when I saw him, honestly, Brian Daigle, man. Brian Daigle felt so sorry for the guy. He said, listen, dude, just give me a call. Like, Brian reached out to him. He could sense the guy was genuinely broken. He didn't know what to say. And this guy's always full of energy. High energy, this guy. Gone. And I'm like, dude, I've been like that for 21 years. Welcome to the party. I wish you just listened to me and Danny. Listen, we don't say what we say because we hate Tottenham.
What makes me really upset is, and this is so stupid, and it's monetary, and no one cares about me. But like, I'm having pretty good luck gambling lately, and I had a feeling that I should have just thrown a tenner on Middlesbrough, but I was like, fuck it, I'm too lazy. And if I would have just done that, I bet the odds were like 10-1. I bet it was crazy. But anyway, yeah, I know what you mean, man. That for one, that crushedness that you speak of. I've been there. A Spurs loss can ruin my entire week, depending on who I have to be around, because I have some people in my life that are Arsenal. And I've got,
Colin. Let me tell you this, okay? This is what I want. This is what I would like, right? I went to school in N22, right? It's the zip code. We call it postcode, but I'm going to speak your language. It's the zip code next to Tottenham, right? I went to school in Wood Green. Wood Green and Tottenham are almost the same. I went to primary school and nursery school there, kindergarten and junior school, right? Everyone in my school was Tottenham or Arsenal. It was a massive, right? I can't tell. It was like Boca Juniors, River Plate. It was Celtic, right? It was unbelievable. Both teams were equally matched. Trophy-wise, we were only 4 or 5 trophies off Arsenal. It was ferocious, the rivalry. The atmosphere was electric. And this was when we were kids. So I supported my local team. Tottenham, my school was 2 roads off of White Hart Lane. I was born in North Middlesex Hospital, which is a 5 to 10 minute drive from the stadium. It is my boyhood club. It is my home team club. All I want is to see that club compete with the best and be given the best chance to compete by having owners who love the club the way I love the club, the way 3 million fans across the UK love Tottenham, the way the hundreds of millions of fans around the world love Tottenham. I want to show them, I want to see them show that. But every time they get a chance, they show that they don't, man. They did it under Martin Jol when they sacked him before the end of the game and we knew about it. They did it to AVB when they sold our best free players. They sold our best free players under AVB. Bale, Modric and Van der Vaart. They sold all three under AVB.
Supposedly AVB wanted Van der Vaart gone, but I don't know if I believe it.
Colin, whether he did or not, they got rid of our best free players.
Right? You're right. Yeah, there's no argument in that.
Pochettino, you don't even need to talk about what happened to Pochettino. And they've done it to Mourinho when he said the players are the problem. They did it to Nuno when he was struggling, and now they're doing it to Conte. When Harry Redknapp was the manager, we could have won the league, and he said, "I need these two players," and we went and bought two clowns instead of the two players he asked for. They've done the same to Conte. We needed a right back, a left-sided centre back, and a striker or a goal-scoring midfielder. Go and get those three players, and Conte will get us top four. What have we done? We bought another holding mid and a left winger. You can't write this shit. History just keeps repeating itself, and fans just, I don't know why they keep making excuses.
He's a right winger, right?
Sorry, Colin, left, right winger. Kulusevski is not what we needed right now. I'm not against him because I like him and I like Bentancur.
I'm glad that he's been chipping in with goals. To be fair, just because we're still reliant on other people. But it's
look, I like Kulu.
Anywhere else,
I like Kulu and I like Bentancur. But you saw again against Middlesbrough when Harry Kane and Son, it's not working. Who's going to step up? There's no one.
Right, we don't even have a Llorente to just throw up there.
There's nothing.
Long balls at.
We brought on Dane Scarlett, a 17-year-old kid with 10 minutes to go. Are you telling me that's the solution, guys? Are you telling me that's what they asked for? Sorry, it's the same mistakes, and the excuse is, you can't do big business in January. Oh, January's a chance, so it's difficult in January to do business. Oh, but the big spending, it's excuse after excuse after excuse. And I'm not going to listen to all these channels peddle this message and then complain when it doesn't work. How can you complain about it? You were backing it.
As long as the channels are like open and say shit like fuck the board and Levy for not spending and helping the manager, then they're allowed, or they're valid. Their complaints are then valid, and you have no problem with them later on being like, what the fuck? Why are we losing against Middlesbrough? So that's what you're saying, basically, right? Don't. No,
this is what I'm saying. I saw Crackers from Last Word on Spurs on the Chris Cowling show, and he said, "Chris, we know there's resentment against the board. Now, you can go outside the stadium and protest and bounce up and down the high street. What a great way to describe us. Bounce up and down the high street. Or you can come on really good shows like yours, Chris. That's what he did. Let's promote that this is a better option. Or you can come on really good shows like yours, Chris, and we can have a good debate about it." What the fuck is your debate going to do, my man? What are you talking about? And you're the voice that people want to listen to. And you're the voice that's going to change things. I just can't believe what I'm hearing, man. I just can't. Either I'm completely heads gone, and maybe I do have mental issues, maybe. Or I can see the obvious, and I'm the only one prepared to call it out. Because people don't want the conflict or the controversy that comes with it. And I get that.
It's probably, we're all a little crazy. So maybe it's a little bit of both, But no, I think that it's just some hard truths that it's a lot easier to pretend like, the sky's kind of falling, and it's a lot easier to just pretend like it's not,
Colin, how many relationships have you heard of, or people you two, Tiago and Barry, where the relationship's bad, it's going to go wrong, but for whatever reason they just won't split up, and then something really bad happens and they split, but it's been coming for years and years and years and years, right?
Oh, yeah.
This is exactly what's happening at Tottenham. And all I'm doing is I'm saying, yo, the relationship is broken. And unless we step away from this relationship, it's only going to get worse. That's what I'm doing. Someone has to start something. Someone has to trigger something at some point. What? Otherwise, where's the trigger? How does the change ever happen? You both know, all three of you know, if we don't get top 4, Conte's not getting the financial backing. If we don't get top 6, he's not going to get 50% of the backing. If we finish 7th or below, you can forget Conte getting the backing. And there's no evidence to suggest that Lo Celso and Ndombele aren't going to end up back at Spurs. Because there's a lot of money we're asking for. So, I just don't see how this fix happens with Conte. Because he's only on a 2-year contract. In the summer, he's got 1 year left. We need to spend 300 million on 8 or 9 players. No club has done that. Even Man City don't spend that in one window. So we're not going to do it. So there's no way we're going to fix the problems in the summer. We're not. So tell me how it gets fixed in the summer and how Conte's the answer with 1 year left on his contract. I see nothing but a disaster unless we get top 4. Top 4 is the only saviour.
Top 4, yeah, and then negotiating down the prices for both Ndombele and Lo Celso. Like if we could sell them for a fraction, not a small fraction, of course, but for some of what we're asking for, and that happens a lot. I think with loan to buys, I think it's pretty common for the price to get negotiated down a bit. I would be okay with that. I'm sure all of you would be generate some funds. But yeah, top 4 is so important. But Sel, I don't know where you sit with this, but I definitely
Colin, also, sorry, buddy. I'll answer that in a second. Let everyone have their say on it because I'm talking loads tonight. But the other thing as well, if we don't get top 4, I'm sorry, but any player that Chelsea, Liverpool, Man City, and I think Arsenal will get top 4, Arsenal go for, and Man United as well because they've got the pulling power. Any of those 5 clubs go for any players we want, they're going to get them over us because we can't 100%. Offer what they and it was proven under Mourinho.
We lost Ruben Diaz. Not Ruben Diaz. I'm sorry, but
Diaz, yeah, for Liverpool. Diaz, yeah. It was proven under Mourinho. The manager's name is not enough of a pulling power anymore. The manager is an attraction, but they want to be playing against the best teams in the best competitions because that's how they excel. That's how they get a name for themselves, and that's the prizes they want. If we end up offering European Conference League and maybe finishing top 6 next season, mate, we are not bringing in the big names. We're going to get more Kulusevskis, Bentancurs. Some will be good, some won't. We'll definitely sign another Emerson, a flop. We'll end up replacing Winks with another version of Winks. We might sign a good midfield. It's just going to be another mix mash of players. So that's my views on it, guys. And this summer, I promise you, if we don't get top 4, I'll be laughing at the end of August because I'm right, and I'll be crying because it hurts again.
Yeah.
I think that Conte walks if we don't get top 4.
I think he walks if he's not backed.
I don't think he'll get backed unless we get top 4. So I mean, like it's in a roundabout way. I think we're on the same.
I agree.
Yeah, we're on the same page. But I do think top 4 is very much on the cards still. If you look at how many 6-pointers there are left, I think
we're not winning any of them. You just need to press a little bit harder against us, and you just can have the result against us.
Hey, Thiago, how about a little optimism, okay, bud? No, I'm just kidding. You're right. Our team isn't pressure resistant at all. Barry, what do you think? I mean,
so going back to Stel's point about relationships, right? So it's true, right? And I think we can all relate to this. I was, not to kind of get deep and heavy, but it was similar with my ex-wife, right? We were in a relationship. We both knew it wasn't good, but we were thinking of the kids and not the bigger picture. And then something disastrous happened. That happened, and then actually it was better for all parties, right? So this is what needs to happen. There's going to be that disastrous point, and it's going to come soon. And I've got to know all of you guys through my screen, yeah, right. And I still, I've met Stel once, and I think from what from seeing that and listening to you and understanding your opinions and everything else, I don't see how any person that is rational and can put everything as facts can sit there and go, "Oh, Levy's amazing. Levy's done this." The problems start with him, and the problems I don't understand how people can sit there. And we were just talking with Iggy. Iggy came on the stream, and we were talking afterwards in the back room, and he goes, he can't understand it. I can't understand. No one can understand where these people are coming from, saying that what Stell's saying or what the Levy outers are saying is wrong. I genuinely don't understand. If they think that what they saw against Middlesbrough and Burnley and the other games is acceptable, then I'm sorry, it's not. And like we've all said, when we've been in the situation where if we get that win, we go into the top 4. We've had 3 games in hand. We could have gone into the top 3. At every time we have the opportunity or the chance for the players and the team to prove anyone wrong, or to say we're up for this. We want to show you how much we care. We want to show you, that we love this club and everything else. It's absolute bullshit, because it's not, and that comes from the mentality that's come from the top, because there is no mentality. If you watched our stream earlier with Steve Perryman, and you watched the stream with Mickey Hazard 3 or 4 weeks ago, right? The values that those 2 people have spoken about, the values are not there from the players. They're just not there, and they're not there because it's not instilled from them from the top of the club. The club don't care about the fans. They don't care about anything. They just care about making money. And what Stell was saying is absolutely spot on about the season tickets. If Stell doesn't have his season ticket, if I don't have my season ticket, there will be someone that will have their season ticket, have our season tickets, right? And they will just go because they'll be like, "Oh, I've got my season ticket." I don't really care about what's happening with the club, and everything is diluted. And we just need to. I don't know. I'm more looking forward to going on Monday night and seeing everyone, and for all of us to be together. And that's, to me, that's what the club should be about. That we all work hard, we all pay our money, we have a right for our opinions. And okay, my opinion might be different to Tiago's opinion. Tiago's opinion might be different to Colin's opinion, different to Stell's opinion. But let's not start going in on each other just because the other person's opinion you don't agree with. And also, Stell, I 100% agree what you're saying about not giving a shit. If either, and that's why I sent you those messages earlier, to make sure you're okay, just to make sure you're okay, not to kiss your ass or whatever. But,
no, I totally understood, mate. I totally understood. Appreciated it.
And the thing is that I've been like you for a long time. For whatever's happened, whatever's happened in my life, I've been like that. If people like me, then they like me for who I am. If they don't like me, I respect their opinion, but I don't give a fuck about them. Yeah, we all have people in our lives that, like Aaron's just put. There's the channels on there that he trusts, right? And there's people in this YouTube community that I trust. And we'll have a bit of a laugh, and people will say stuff about this person always goes on about this or that person. But deep down, everyone's together, right? But some of the people that say some of the stuff and come out with some of the thing just to create, to make themselves, they want to be the next bloody, Troops or fucking DT or, whoever, to try and make up, to want to be a celebrity. It's not about that. This club is just so frustrating, and we just need to be together. And if I don't agree with Stell, and Stell doesn't agree with me, I'm sure we'll say, "Nick, I don't agree with you," and I'll say, "Stell, I don't agree with you," and then that's it. We move on. We're not going to start going in on each other like what's happened, and it's just ridiculous, I think, really. Tiago, what's Will's question?
That's what I was gonna say. Put it again, Will, because I don't know what question.
No, I think he was making a Cockney slang joke, like a frog and drone bone or something. He was making something up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, put it again. We'll bring
That's
it
why I
up.
put a laughing emoji there.
Just going a little bit to a different topic, um, because I I've heard a quote that I think everyone has heard it before from Karl Marx's book. History repeats itself. First is a tragedy, second is a farce. Because some guy tried to buy Spurs in 2019, almost bought us for 2.3 billion pounds. Guess what? He didn't buy Spurs, and now he's gonna buy Chelsea. I think I've heard this before with Abramovich.
Tiago, do you know something? Nowadays, I'm not dismissing what you've said, but nowadays, it's so goddamn hard to believe anything coming out of most journalistic publications regarding Spurs, because half of them just want to see us crash, the other half overhype us. Then you get sections that just want to create stories so people follow them. Then you get the actual genuine one, and it's hard to figure out which one's the genuine. Do you know what? Whenever I hear news about Tottenham nowadays, unless there's evidence that I can look at, I just don't know what to believe anymore. Especially the transfer window. Especially the transfer. I don't think Daniel Levy and Enoch want to sell, because why would they be building all these flats and apartments and cinemas and skyscrapers behind the stage? They've got plans, man. I think they've got plans for much bigger projects, and I still believe right now, Tiago, that their long-term ambition is to create us into an NFL franchise, the London Hotspur, or the Tottenham Hurricanes, or the Tottenham Hurricanes, right? And
Ooh,
we'll be
I
the
like
first. We'll be the first. Well, we'll be the first.
The Tottenham rainy bleak days.
Yeah,
You could just call you guys.
the Spursy the Spursy Hurricanes. They'll but I honestly believe getting the NFL, now they're pitching to have the first ever Super Bowl outside of America in the UK. It's all gearing up to me. They want that NFL franchise. Why would you invest so much money into an NFL style stadium for 2 games a year? That doesn't make sense to me, man. You don't do that. I think the long term plan is for us to become a multi sports
I think so
company.
too. Yeah, no, I agree. I think that they're pushing hard. I mean, the NFL's been talking about having a team in London for a long time, and maybe even 2. And so we would for sure get one of them. I mean, why would we set up our facility the way that we have
Yeah,
if
this
we
is the
didn't have
reason.
a
This
football
is the
team in mind?
reason. Kane, it's true. Kane said after he retired, he wanted to play in the NFL.
Shit. So we're just like, oh, okay, here you go, bud.
It's Kane's fault.
So
Don't panic.
how can we ever be successful under Enoch if they're focused on so many things, but not the one thing that is at the heart of the club, the football team? Because you
Yeah.
see Tottenham, we've got to compete against Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, Arsenal are back now. They're only going to buy more players in the summer. How do we compete against those clubs unless 100% effort, energy, focus and ambition is on the football team? Because that's what it's going to take. Some clubs can put 80%, 85% energy and be successful. We're not that club. We need 100% commitment. 100%. And these owners, it's impossible to give that when your eyes are looking in so many different directions, man. And unless fans stand up to it and they understand it, I don't know, man.
So hey, sorry to bother. Will Stewart, in your little question, what direction is the man facing?
His own pocket. He's facing his
Put
own
the
pocket.
question. Put the question up. Put the question up. If you. There you go.
Okay. There's a fence. There's a fencing yard. In the middle of the yard, a barn. North of the barn, 4 pigs. South of the barn, 10 pigs. A man standing south of the barn is asked how many pigs. He says 10.
Do you know what he's doing? Do you know what he's doing?
Yeah, I know.
What?
And yeah,
He's
I'm
trying
on
to-
drugs. I'm on drugs right now, you guys. I'm not my
No,
sharpest.
he's trying to say he's what a funny guy. He's trying to say that how can you expect fans to do anything when they don't even know how many pigs are in their own yard?
Okay.
I'm guessing that's where Will's going with it.
I think it's something different, but yeah,
Oh, what is
I'm
it,
not
Taylor?
gonna.
Well, tell us. Yeah, tell us.
No,
You
I'm
gotta,
not
you
gonna tell because I don't know if I can, but and I
gotta...
think
Oh,
Will will
dude.
be the best to explain. No, I need to know from Will first if I can say. But yeah, and about the takeover style, it was the guy. The what I heard is that no, what I heard, what I read is that he tried to buy us in 2019, and now he's gonna buy Chelsea since Abramovich is going. And also, guys, talking about football and politics, some people claim that the Super League is back. Some saying that all the 12 clubs are in. Some saying that Spurs and Arsenal are not in that. Some saying that the 6 English clubs don't want to be part of that. And what do you guys think of it? I think they kicked out Daniel Levy. I think even they got rid of Levy.
Why?
They
Why do they
certainly
want us?
Thiago, they certainly the only bit that they did keep from Daniel Levy was the PR team and dropping the same bullshit PR that we seem to drop at stupid times, right? That's the only thing that I can see, because yeah, it's like, like we've had the past few weeks, but I don't understand, because today there was also the new Champions League format from 24-25 that was also released today. So did you see that, Tiago?
I've heard, but I don't know what the new format
So
is.
the UEFA confirmed the new Champions League format: 36 teams up from 32. Group stages are replaced by a league table. Each team plays 10 games in the first phase, 5 home, 5 away, 100 additional games. The top 8 sides in the league phase will qualify automatically for the knockout stage. Teams finishing in 9th to 24th place will compete in a 2-legged playoff to secure their path to the last 16. So it's almost like they're trying to combat this Super League, no?
Yeah, basically.
Well, that's a shit format. I
That
gotta
sounds
say.
like a lot more games as well.
Yeah, 100 more games.
Good deal.
It's-
Good for Sonny. Good for Sonny who
Oh,
came.
that's good for our 13-man squad.
Oh, hey, real quick, got a shout out to
Steak.
Mr. Hilton Steak. You have an interesting life, man. I wonder what it's like to be you. I'll never know, but I hope it's great.
Okay, just before
Thank
we
you for
move
thank you
on,
for being here.
Will said I can go ahead and tell. So what happened was yesterday, um, Will was talking about Spurs, and there was a big debate around what he said about the player ratings. He made a night test player ratings, which he gave 6 and 6.5 for the players. But of course, everybody was saying, "How can you give these players a 6? There were 2 or 3 maximum." And then Will, with the stats he always likes to bring up, he was talking about big chances created. And he said that a big chance created is when you pass the ball to a teammate, and your teammate is in a high XG position, which means in a position that there's a high chance it will end up being a goal, which is a big chance created. But certain someone, which I'm not gonna mention the name because I don't know if I can, started slating Will, saying Will was wrong because that's not the only possibility that counts as a big chance created. So the whole point is, Will describe the big chance created. It is one way that it is a big chance created. There are many possibilities. You can have many different ways, but the way Will described was big chance created. That's the analogy with the pigs. There are 14 pigs in the yard. 4 up north, 10 in the south. The guys in the south, he only sees the 10 pigs. There are 14 in total, but the guy only sees the 10, and if he says there's 10 pigs, he's not wrong. He's not wrong, because there are 10 pigs. It would be wrong if he said there are 16 pigs, there are 17 pigs. No, there are 14. And
And that's
inside
why
14, you have
you're
10.
on my channel, because you're a genius. I need a little bit of intelligence on my channel, and I have it. So thank
No,
you,
you
Tiago.
don't need to be a genius. And this whole situation with Will, I'm not gonna, as I said, I'm not gonna mention the name, but it's someone that thinks is a superstar in the sports community, but he isn't. So someone
Hey,
that
hey,
is
hey, hey,
Ooh,
hey,
shade,
hey! Leave me out of
shade.
this. Leave me out of this.
Oh,
no, you are the
Easy.
superstar. You deserve to be so.
Do you know? I was just looking at Ellie's comment about Berkhamshaw, and do you know what's funny? Bill Nicholson and Keith Berkhamshaw are the two most successful Spurs managers ever. And when we had Mickey Hazard on our show, I asked him one question, which was,
I'm trying to find.
were Keith Berkhamshaw and Bill Nicholson, were they backed by the owners? Did we back the manager? And do you know what Mickey Hazard said? Yes, they were. Both managers were backed by the owners at the time. And I said to him, but how can you remember, Bill, Bill Nicholson was before your time. I didn't know this. He goes, no. Bill Nicholson came up to me in the car park because Mickey Hazard was in the academy at the time, and Bill Nick gave him some advice and stuff. So he did know Bill Nick. Both managers were backed. So it's no coincidence when we back a manager, we get success. We might not win the league, guys. We might not win the league, but we win an FA Cup, we win a League Cup, we win a Europa Cup. And I think as Spurs fans, we'd be so happy just to win those trophies again. But we've got to back our managers, and that hasn't happened since.
it sucks because fourth place is like almost necessary for us to back our manager.
If we want to run the club the way we run it.
Yeah,
but
right.
But since Keith Berkhamshaw, we've never backed a manager, properly backed a manager, and that's the key reason. It's one of the contributing factors as to why we just don't win trophies anymore. People forget, Colin. People forget. Do you know we were the fourth most successful club in England? Number 4.
I saw your tweet about it
before Enoch.
Yeah. Did you? Okay, so I have a theory, and it's like a wild kind of. I like conspiracies, but so you guys all, of course, the Van der Vaart transfer. I think that transfer alone made Daniel Levy think that he was a transfer god and like a transfer genius, and he thought, "Oh shit, there's tons of these deals to be done at the last second. I can get these." And he thought, I'm a wheeler dealer. I'm the man at transfers. I am a transfer guru, and I think ever since then, like the wheels have really fallen off, and he, had too much of a hand in the spending of the bail money. And his ego is just very large, and I think that he thinks he knows a lot more than he does.
No, yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, people made up that he's a great businessman. He isn't. He isn't.
Thiago, he is. He is. I'll tell you why.
No, in football, no. When it comes to transfers, he isn't. In my there's no way you can.
Thiago, we fail every year, and he packs out that stadium.
Yeah.
I know. I know. I don't want to admit it either, right? But could he have been better? Yes. If he invested more, we could have been a Champions League team every year. We could have won bigger trophies, which grows the fan base, and we could have made more money by investing more in the long run. That's what Chelsea did. They invested big at the beginning, and then they just grew and grew and grew globally, and now they make a lot more money. So, could he have been a better businessman? Yeah. But Thiago, I don't think he cares. I think they make so much money in other ventures that he's not going to take the risk. He's a very prudent man. He's a very, I don't want to say tight, but he's not going to spend. He's not going to spend unless he feels there's a guaranteed return on the spend. He's not a risk taker when it comes to football. I think everything's calculated with him. There's always a get out plan if it goes wrong.
Remember the cranes? Remember the cranes he bought for the stadium construction and then sold them back like after he was done using them? We needed 5 extra cranes, and Daniel Levy somehow masterminded a way to get them and then sell them back for almost full price. It's that kind of thing though that really screws us. It's him thinking that he can always get a better deal. It's him thinking, that people are always going to be able to buckle, a couple mil in his favor. And that's not how shit works, man. That's not how the real world works.
So
And
there's this property guy, right? There's this property guy that I follow on YouTube, and he's made the most money over the last 10 years probably than any other kind of entrepreneurial
is it an American
property
guy?
guy. His name's Grant Cardone,
I'm not sure. No,
an
I'm
American
not sure.
dude,
No.
right? And he's actually gone past a lot of the traditional big guns. And what he said is this: if you really want something, then the chances are a lot of other people will want that something as well. And if that's the case, that means you will easily be able to sell that something if you no longer want it, which means it's got value. So just pay the price and get it done. And he's done that with so much property where he hasn't tried to haggle, and he doesn't want to get into a bidding war. He's like, how much do you want? Right, there's the money, done. And it's the same with players. If we want to buy Bruno Fernandes, you can bet there's other clubs that want him. If we want Dybala, there's other clubs that want him. Pay the money and get him, man. And you know what? There's value there. If it doesn't work, there's value there. Look at Ronaldo. Even in his decline, he's still moving to big clubs. He's still commanding a price. He's still commanding big wages. So the mindset should be more as, yeah, okay, you want the best price, but just sometimes, man, pay the fucking asking price and get the man for your manager.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what I can't get my head around is, like you said, he doesn't take risks when it comes to football. But do you want more risky thing than going for youngsters? Because you don't know if they're any good, if they're going to become any good. Like, I know that you spend less money, but at least you with an experienced player, you've seen that he can deliver and he can make you win a trophy.
Or at
If
least
he
young
isn't-
players from the Premier League even would be okay with me.
Well, it depends how much you pay, Thiago, right?
Or the
If you're going to
championship.
spend 25 million, 20 million
like
on a
Brian
young player,
Hill.
you'd probably spend the money on a player like that. But if you're going to spend 42 million, like we did on Davinson Sanchez, who was 21, 22,
Oof.
then, you know, you're asking for trouble. But then on the flip side, we're going to spend 50 million on Romero, who's 21, and look how good he is. So the truth is, there's no answer. What you need is a manager with a plan, and you buy the players the manager's identified so he can execute his plan.
Yeah.
What's happening at Tottenham is we don't buy the players for the manager. That manager then gets fired because he's failed, because he hasn't got his players. Then the next manager comes in and says, well, I play a different system. I don't need attacking wing backs. These players you bought are no good. I don't play with a back three. Why have you bought these players? And then the next manager inherits the next problem. But we've spent all the money on the previous manager we fired. And it's this vicious cycle. So if Conte's not at the club for 3-4 years and they don't back him, it's just going to become a bigger mess, because this time we will lose Son and Kane. No doubt, especially Kane.
Question for everyone: do you guys think if, let's say, Conference League again, Kane gone? I think so. I think he has to go, even though we have Conte.
I agree. I agree with you there. I think he's shown that he's too big for the Conference League. He doesn't appreciate it. You know, he doesn't give it his all.
But do you think it's going to be more? I think it's more whether he's backed, whether Conte's backed or not. And we've said it again. We know what will happen, but because he's got 2 years left on his contract, he can hold out. He's held out for this long. If he holds out for another year, then he can get a massive pay deal, because he'll go on a free, right? Because no one's going to pay. I don't know. Is City going to come in with 100 million bid in the summer? I don't know. 80 million, maybe. I don't know.
But what if he stays out another, he stays here another year and he gets injured? Then he can leave. Maybe it would be better for him. Look, I gotta go now, because maybe I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Maybe next summer nobody will want me because I'm 30.
Maybe Charlie Adam gets picked up by a Premier League team and smashes his ankles.
I agree with Barry, it's all about whether Conte's backed or not, and the ambition is shown. But on the flip side, if Kane does want to leave, we've got a major problem.
Yeah.
Because if he goes, Levy's not
Everybody wants
replacing
to go.
him. Levy's not replacing him, and then Conte will walk.
Yeah.
Because other
It's-
clubs will
it's-
want to get it done early, right? Because you've got to think there's the World Cup, and this is where it's going to be interesting with the both transfer windows, in the fact that it needs to get done early in August because they've got the break in November, and then whatever happens at the World Cup, then January is going to, there's going to be maybe some stars that will shine, and people, will go and spend some money, but whatever needs to be done early. It can't be done 2 days before the transfer window closes, because that's going to be not enough time. And there's also potentially going to be players flying around that will want to be playing football because it's a World Cup year, and they've got 3 months to prove that they can get into that, that World Cup team. So maybe that's an opportunity for us. I don't know. Probably more an opportunity for everyone else. But it's going to be interesting. But if we muck around like we always do, and we go, we're going first week, 5,000 rumours with X amount of players, nothing happens in that first week, or nothing substantial happens in that first week, then then the wheels are going to well and truly come off, because Kane will be like, there's been no intent, there's been nothing to be shown. Conte will be like, I've told him my players, nothing's happening. Yeah, it could just...
Barry, you see Conte, if you look
Yeah.
at his successes, he's had his team ready to go with a pre-season.
Yeah.
He's not gonna accept this Daniel Levy. Okay, let's wait with 2 days to go, and we'll get the last 3 or 4 play. He's not gonna take that shit. Look what happened during January. We delayed. We never got any business done until the last minute. 2 weeks before that, he was kicking off. Conte was kicking off. So,
Colin, you're on mute.
Colin, are you okay, buddy?
It's
Colin, you don't look alright,
You're
man. You look
mute,
like
yeah.
you
Yeah.
you
sorry.
look like you're gonna
Right.
pass out, dude.
No, I'm okay. I'm good.
If you want to end the stream, dude, end it, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry about us.
Oh, I'm not feeling super good in the whole shoulder region, so I'm probably going to take off personally. But Tiago, though, if you would like to keep going, that is all you, my friend. You
I
wanna
mean,
keep things-
if the guys want to hang out a little bit more, we can. But if you need to go,
okay, yeah,
I'm
good.
cool to stay for a bit longer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take off and ice my shoulder with the advice
Yeah,
of
go,
Aaron
man.
in the comments.
honestly, you're looking like you're gonna pass out. And
I know. I
yeah.
thought he was gonna faint. I was like, oh my god, is he alright?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you guys so much, and also thanks for being here. Thanks for everybody watching. But Tiago, continue killing it. Don't forget to tell them about the PayPal and the Patreon whenever you're in the stream. All right,
Oh,
see
yeah,
you guys.
okay.
Bye.
If you didn't tell me, I wouldn't say anything because
See?
See, this is what I mean about the YouTubers. They're all money geared up, man. They're all focused on money. All of
I just want the money.
Tiago, why don't you put the link out if anyone else wants to join us? I can see Mari, Ellie's in the chat,
Yeah.
Scott,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
Kaguma,
share.
Reload, Aaron. Well, Aaron came in and out. Will Stewart, if he's still here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it here. I almost started sharing the screen, and there we go, guys. The link is in the chat. If you guys want to join, feel free to.
I think maybe I don't know what you guys think, but I think maybe Paratici made a phone call and said, "Guys, I need something. Give me something from Juventus," and pulled in some favors. No.
I just find it odd that a manager who doesn't, a man who never operates until the last minute comes to Spurs,
Yeah.
and suddenly everything's lastminute.com.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why we do this strategy. What benefit in any shape or form? We're not getting any major discounts. So what is the benefit of leaving everything last minute? I don't.
Just
What's the
before we move on,
positive?
someone in the background, Scott M.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey,
Sorry about my misread comment earlier, Scott, buddy.
Oh, no worries. I read it after, and I saw like I kind of sounded like I was saying your nonsense argument. I I just kind of I found it more funny because I don't know if you've seen, like, I've been supporting you on Twitter with that whole thing, so it's just like, what is Phil talking about? It's like so opposite. But I reread how I wrote it, and it's one of those things in chat, right? You can never properly write what you want in the chat because of all the word limits and whatnot. But it's all good.
Damn, look at Mari at the gym.
He's getting ready for the
Built.
Queen.
He likes to look nice and trim for the Love Lounge.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. I'm not gonna lie, I was at the gym before the stream as well. I almost died, but yeah. Uh, Now I'm gonna start running right beside the beach when I move out to college, so it's gonna be easier to exercise myself. But I was gonna say, yeah, Antonio Conte, when he left Juventus, he left during preseason because he saw he was not gonna get who he wanted. So he said, "Yeah, okay, I'm off. Bye, good luck," and he's gone. He walked, and especially with knowing that it's Spurs and Daniel Levy, I can 100% see that happening. I honestly can. And if we go with the logic that has been going the last few years, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's why is it so hard for Daniel Levy to spend? You have, for example, Stefan De Vrij, world class centre back, last year of his contract, £20 million. Go and get him. Kostic, world class left wing back at Frankfurt, £15 million. Get him. Experienced players that Conte would make winners. Conte made Ashley Young as a Italian league winner. I mean,
Tiago, let me ask you a question about that, okay? When Conte came to Spurs, everyone said, look what he did with Victor Moses, look what he did with Victor Moses, look what he does with players. He's going to play a back three, look what he did. Victor Moses came up about 100 times. And I remember saying, yeah, but Victor Moses wasn't a bad player to start with. He just adapted him and made him more effective. The team was 80% of the way there, right? Name me one player that he's done a Victor Moses with in this team.
he hasn't. Yeah, it's
Maybe
there's
Dyer.
no one.
Maybe
And
Dyer.
And the weird thing is that Spurs fans were actually thinking he was gonna do a Victor Moses with all the 25 players.
I think we talked about this before. I think it was with you, Tiago, where I said I'm getting kind of tired of hearing about Victor Moses and Ashley Young because Spurs
I
fans
mean-
took it to mean like every single one of our shit players now are going to be Victor Moses and Ashley Young, right? And we kept hearing about how, well, he can turn this guy into a Victor Moses or this guy into Ashley Young, and it's like you said, Victor Moses was a skilled player before, and he had a specific role on that Chelsea team, right? He didn't take him from striker and make him into a right wing back, right? He was a winger that fit in that position. He doesn't just throughout his whole career take random players and make them all better. And again, Victor Moses wasn't like the number one player on the team. Ashley Young, they were probably 10th or 11th best player on their teams, right? Behind other guys. So it's not like he just takes random crap players and makes them all great. He can fit players into a team if he has those better players that can do the majority of the work. And we don't have those better players. So it's just, I got frustrated because you hear all the time, well, he's just going to make it Victor Moses. And it's like, it's such a one-off small part of Conte, but people just assumed it was going to be the whole team was all of a sudden going to be Victor Moses.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I see, for example, Filip Kostic, he plays for Frankfurt, he's Serbian. The guy plays as left winger. He has played as left wing back before. He knows the role, and he's effective. He scored loads of goals, loads of assists from that position. He's 29, experienced, has been playing Europe for years. He isn't expensive. Go and get him. Just like Ashley Young.
No, but Tiago,
knows the role.
but Sessa Young's going to be good in about 7 years' time.
I lost my hope in Session. I don't think he's going to do it. I honestly don't.
Of course, he's not going to do it. When you buy a player for the first team, they're supposed to have an impact fairly quick. If you look at the best signings we've had, instant impact: Romero, Bentancur, Son. There's not many, so it's difficult. Lloris was pretty good
Eriksen.
from day one. Ericsson, Dembele. Instantly, you saw something. You don't buy a player and say, oh, again, it's this excuse list. Oh, they need time to bed in. But why? You're a footballer. The pitch is the same size. The grass is the same colour. The goal's the same size. What do you need to bed into? I don't understand this.
Yeah. It's. I mean,
Do you know Antonio Conte, right? This is for me where I'm worried. When he was successful at Chelsea, the only team he had to beat that season was Spurs. We were the main rivals. We came second when he won the league. Tottenham was his main challenge, and he beat us to it. At Inter Milan, like most seasons in that era, finish above Juventus, you've won the league, and he did it. Yeah. And when he was at Juve, come on, they were the most dominant team in the game back then. He's now
I
come
think
to.
at the time they had just came up from second division because of that whole scandal when he joined.
Yes, you're right, Thiago, but they were also the most financially powerful
Oh, yeah.
club in Serie A because Inter Milan, AC, all of them collapsed
Yeah.
because of the 2008 financial crash. But if you look at him now in England, it's not Tottenham, one team he's going to battle with, or Juventus, one team. He's got to overcome Man City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal. The job now is massive. If we're talking about the league title, it's so big. Not only have you got to catch up with those teams, you've then got to pass them whilst they're still building and reinvesting every year. So for me, I think he's on a hiding to nothing. I don't see, unless we throw 200 million this summer, 100 million in January, and another 200 million next summer. But do you honestly see Spurs doing anything like that?
No.
No.
That's what it's going to take if you want Antonio Conte. If you want to give it 5 years, build up some youngsters from the academy, keep some of the young players we got now with potential like Romero and Bentancur and Kulu, and replenish the squad over 3-4 years slowly, then Conte's not the answer. But at the same time, if you bring in a project type manager, are the fans going to tolerate Conte not being there and having to wait 4 or 5 years?
That's
Well-
exactly what Elzargo said in his video. He said, "I'm thinking about where Spurs would go if Antonio Conte leaves, and you have, for example, Erik ten Hag, who's a project manager, but he's going to United. Graham Potter didn't even want to engage negotiations with Spurs because he thought Brighton was more stable, and he was proven right. They are more stable than us. The only one is Poch, but I mean, let's be honest, Poch isn't the answer as well. So,
I don't even
where do
think
we
it's
go
just-
after Conte?
I don't even think it's just
Sorry.
Conte. If Conte leaves and we want to go the way you said, still, are we going to do that with Paratici? He doesn't seem like a director of football that
Well,
that really
Scott,
wants to be like a rebuild guy, right? Is that not really?
Scott, it's not what I want. It's the only two options I think exist.
Yeah, no, sorry. I meant like if that's the way that route the club goes, are we just going to stick with Paratici? I think we will, and it's just going to be another mismanaged, like no plan, no cohesive plan.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you were talking about with Liverpool earlier, and you said what they did is they lined everybody up, right? And they all have the same vision, and they have a plan. So when they bring players in, they're not bringing in Matt Doherty to play, who's a right wing back his whole career, to now play under Jose, who doesn't use wing backs, right? They don't bring in no striker. They don't bring in this guy who doesn't fit the system. They have a plan of what they want. So when they bring a player in, and not every player works, right? Shaqiri didn't really work for them. Other guys haven't worked, but at least there's a plan. And when a guy doesn't work, fair enough, but you can see the reasoning behind it. And we're just going to keep going on where we just bring a player in. Again, Kulishevsky as an individual talent is okay, but is that what we needed in January? Is that the kind of player? Not really, right? But he was a good deal from Juventus, so we bring him in. It doesn't fit in with a plan. No right wing back. How do you not bring in a freaking right wing back when you have
Uh,
Conte here? Because you don't have a plan. Because you just buy individual players because they're on a deal or because you have a good relationship with Juve. And even if they're good, individually, Bentancur and Kulishevsky aren't bad players, but they weren't what we needed at the time. And that's what you get when you don't have a plan and we just chop and change and there's no direction. And that's what we've had
yeah.
for so long. And if we go down that route, I'm fine going down that route, saying that if Conte isn't going to work, we're going to go that rebuilding route or whatever you want to call it, right? Bring in the youth. But I have zero faith that we have the people in place that are actually going to do it properly. And that, again, that's why I said with Paratici, we're going to keep Paratici and go down that route. I don't see it working.
No, it won't work because Paratici brought in Nuno and he brought in Conte. So the next manager won't be his actual manager anymore, will it?
In terms of speaking of Paratici and who he brings in, what do you guys think of this? Brian Hill, so to Liga.
I don't see Brian Hill coming back to Spurs.
No.
I think he'll be. I think the best case for us. He seems to be working well in. Is he at Valencia? Or I can never remember with
Mate,
Valencia.
Lo Celso's working well in Spain as well.
Yeah.
Gil's working up well there. He seems to fit there. I mean, it would be great if he came and was a superstar for us, but I think at this point, if you can sell him there for 30 million or something, great. Take the money and let's buy a player that helps us now, fits better with Spurs and fits better with
Bro, the
Premier League.
fans yesterday, Valencia fans yesterday, they were all screaming for him to stay. He was at the balcony of their stadium watching the fans, and they were all saying, please stay. Those guys are in love with him.
Listen, I think Brian Hill, in the right system, can be a player. In the Premier League, he needs to muscle up. But also,
Yeah.
the way we play under Conte's system, it's a disaster for Hill. It's never going to work. And he never got the game time. He got nowhere near enough back-to-back consistency in game time for him to genuinely have a real crack at it. So whenever he did come on, you just saw moments, but nothing wow. So what's happened is he's gone back to Spain and he plays every single game. Every game he plays. So of course he's doing well out there. And the league is nowhere near as physical as the Premier League. So I don't think he's a bad player, but I don't for 1 second buy into the hype that Spurs fans gave him when he came. Oh, he's the next Iron Robin. Oh, you wait and see, he's world class. I was like, whoa. Come on, man. Come on. Relax. No one's heard of this guy's name before. How do you all suddenly know he's the next Iron Robin? I hate when we do this.
It's always the same thing with sports fans. They always overrate the players when they come in.
And
Yeah.
sort of on the same wavelength, I mean, Will in the chat. And then if you don't agree, like, I think Hill's a fine player. I don't think he's going to be ever that good. And I don't think he's going to work in the Premier League. He might, but that's just my impression, right? And then it's, oh, you hate him. Why are you hating on him? Why are you so negative about him? It's like just because there's players who just aren't going to work out because of he's young, or maybe there's players like Lo Celso is a perfect example. He's gone to Spain and looks well. Is there any problem with him being a good player in Spain and not a good player in the Premier League? I mean, that's possible, right? So I think it's just, I don't know. I do I see Will there, and I'm like, it's just crazy that if you don't think that he's going to be great, all of a sudden you become a hater, right? It's just, there's got to be some wiggle room in there. It doesn't have to all be black and white.
Look, at the end of the day, Brian Hill was not Antonio Conte's signing. So
Yeah.
if it doesn't work for Antonio Conte, whose fault is it? And then the excuses, don't forget there's the excuse list. The excuses are, oh, but Conte's job is to get the best out of the players. What if he is getting the best out of the player?
He should be doing better with the squad.
What if what we're seeing from Doherty and Emerson is the best? You know? People talk about Doherty. Look at his stats that he had at Wolves. It was 1 season. Out of 10 years, he had 1 good season. That says more about the player than what kind of player we thought we were buying. Emerson, what has he ever done? Has he ever done anything before he came to Tottenham?
No, after he came to Spurs, he was sent off within 20 minutes for Brazil. And he's our starting right back. My World Cup dreams are over. Fucking hell. Nah,
No extra star on that shirt, Thiago.
man.
You know, Galini was even dropped
Oof.
off the bench for the last 2 games against Leeds and
For Brendan
Middlesbrough.
Austin.
The manager has put an academy kid in place over a lone goalkeeper that's supposedly going to take Lloris's shoes one day. You can't write this, man. And then there's fans. There are fans saying, but it's Conte's job to get the best out.
Galini, I mean, I was never really a big fan of him. At least with that deal, it's a loan and it's not that much, so I can, like, I didn't agree with it, but at least I can, hey, you took a chance on him. I don't understand with Emerson how you could pay that amount of money for it. Like, it wasn't like he was cheap, you know what I mean? Like, that's, if you're paying that amount of money, you either pay more to get somebody who you're sure about or pay less to take a chance on someone.
Scott,
But it's like we paid a decent amount of money
Yeah.
to take a chance on a guy. Like, oh, I just
Why
Scott,
is Barcelona laughing though? It's not like they've been extremely successful with signings the last few years. They were paying 700K a week for Griezmann, and it was shit for them. Like, Barcelona, they're just a joke.
yeah, you make a good point, but they're probably just everyone laughs at Tottenham. It's just it's part of the.
Thiago, you could put us 4 in, right? And then what they're going to say? Oh, Conte is going to get the best out of us, and we're not Premier League footballers. You know?
Listen, if you look at left and right back, both are a problem at Tottenham. Both are a problem. You look at some of the signings for the same price as Emerson or less in the last couple of years. You got Castagne at Leicester. You've got Kieran Tierney and Tomiyasu at Arsenal. You've got Semedo at Wolves. You've got that Greek wing back that Liverpool
Tsimikas.
signed. Yeah,
Simicast, yeah.
all
Yeah,
of
he's
them.
good.
All of them
Star for us.
could have come to Tottenham had we gone in and put the money. All of them. So how the fuck did we go and look at Emerson and say, do you know what? That's the kind of player we... How is that possible? I've just named you 6 wing backs or left or right backs that have come to the Premier League to clubs that they could have come to us, these players, and we haven't even gone near these players. And the one player we did want to buy for the position wasn't even a fucking right back. And that was Traore, who's now tearing up trees in Barcelona. You can't write this shit, and yet fans are blaming Conte and his tactics. Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't get it, man. I don't understand this. Listen, the fans are the problem, Thiago. I'm going to keep saying it. The fans are the problem.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I've been saying this for a long time. I said this after the Chelsea game. But I was killed. I was told that no, that I shouldn't be doing this because I'm just dividing the fans, and that's not what we need. I mean, I'm not trying to divide the fans. I'm just saying the truth. Because if you don't put your position out there, you're already positioning yourself. Because if you don't speak, you're conniving with the situation. So it's
You
just
see, Ellie makes a good point, right? Sessegnon has got potential, but are we prepared to wait? That is the question. Well, I think we as fans, if we're told what the plan is, I think there's a tolerance. But Antonio Conte never in his career has gone to a club where he waits. Never. That is not his blueprint to success. So if we're going to have to ask him now, change the way you manage, change the way you deal with players that we bring in, and wait, why the fuck have you brought in Conte? The manager shouldn't change for the club. The club should adapt for the manager they've chosen to come in. So my answer to Ellie is, no. I don't think we'll wait.
and we shouldn't wait. I mean, if you look at his Inter Milan side, Bastoni was a youngster coming through the academy for them, but Antonio Conte came in, he started playing Bastoni, and Bastoni became a world class centre back. That's why he plays. If Bastoni wasn't a world class centre back, he wouldn't be playing for Inter Milan. He wouldn't play for Antonio Conte. He only plays that youngster because he's good, because he does the job. If it was like Sessegnon, he wouldn't be playing for Inter Milan. And like Bastoni is the future for centre backs. That guy is so good. But yeah, that's the kind of talent they have. And you look at our youth academy, the most successful guy we've had in the last few years after Harry Kane is Harry fucking Winks.
Oh my God, Thiago! On Monday night, we went to watch the under-23s play. Fuck my life. There's not one player that we saw that is ready to come into this team.
It's bad.
There's not.
Oh.
Listen, they're not bad, but you know I've been
Like
saying
the
a lot.
situation is bad. Like that we don't have. the
Like
answer to.
you know I've been saying for a while. Give Lavernier a chance. Give Lavernier. Bring in Lavernier at right back. Bring in Lavernier. Listen, I watch Lavernier. He's not ready. They're not bad. They're just not ready. There was 2 or 3 players. I'll tell you now. There was this player that played right in the middle. He's very similar to Skip. He was so good. His name was Matthew Craig. Yeah, he was a good player. Really good player. But I don't see how he comes in and makes any difference because he's not going to get ahead of Skip, Bentancur or Højbjerg. He won't. But he was, for me, the one that really caught my eye. The other one that I think maybe should be in the first team, but I don't know if he's ready, was a player called Charlie Sayers. He's a left-sided centre-back, comfortable on the ball. He knows when to drop. He knows when to shift up. He's very vocal with the back line. He knows when to pull wide. His range of passing on his left foot was so good. Like, he's definitely one for the future, no doubt. Remember that name, guys, Charlie Sayers. But right now, I don't know. The other one that caught my eye was a player called O'Neill Bennett. His pace was wow. When he gets into second gear, not only has he got the pace, but he's got the dribbling ability to beat one man, two man. The only issue with him was his end product, just knowing when to release it, when to shoot, because he had a chance to shoot on his left foot, but he chose to pass it and it went wrong. But in terms of a player that can drive with the ball, with pace and skill, yeah, if Bennett is coached a bit more, they're the 3 players that I thought caught my eye. But would I bring any of them right now into this first team? No.
Speaking of youngsters, I'm gonna throw this question first to Barry, and then we're gonna go for everyone else. For Middlesbrough, what have you played Harvey White over Winks? I mean, maybe he's not ready, but it can be worse than Harry Winks, right?
They didn't bring him on. They did not bring him on or Alfie Devine in the under-23 game.
It was on Monday.
Yeah.
And maybe it was because they knew they were going to
You're
travel with the
muted,
squad,
Barry.
right?
Nick, you're muted.
Is it any worse than Winks? Don't know, probably not. But is it the right time? Probably not. But yeah, I don't know. When is the right time? I don't know with these guys. Like you were saying, if they again, it comes back to the development. That comes back to what we doing with the squad. I guess the only player that was of any chance or any good was obviously was Markande, and we tried to play stupid again with him. And then he left. Unfortunately, got injured. He was probably the next one that probably would have had the chance. Are they ready? I don't know. I would say probably not, based on what Stel said about the under-23s and everything else.
Barry, we were the better team.
Yeah.
And until the last minute, Leeds were winning 1-0. We didn't create much. In the final third, we were lacking. The goalie wasn't too bad, but he's not ready either. Do you know what I was looking for? I was looking for Does anyone remind me of Skip? Does anyone look like Smith Rowe or Saka at Arsenal? Does anyone remind me of just something that is young that you can relate to? Nobody on that pitch did it. Nobody. And it just made me realise this is under 23s where most of you are kind of 19, 20. What the fuck are you going to do in a men's game?
Yeah.
So they've all got a great first touch. They've all got technical ability. They've all got a good passing range. They've all, you know, you're not at a pro club academy unless you're good, right?
Yeah.
But there's no one there that stood out where I thought, wow. The only one, that left-sided centre-back. But I don't see him getting a chance if Rodon isn't even getting a chance.
Yeah.
So I don't see anyone in the under-23s breaking through. And from what Conte's saying, he's saying what Mourinho said. Dane Scarlett is the one. But then every time Dane Scarlett comes on, he does fuck all.
Yeah.
He's not ready. He's clearly not ready.
Yeah, and that comes down to what we're doing. We're not preparing them, and we're not developing them in the right way to get them ready. Because if, like you were saying, if we're in that much of a mess with the midfield and not having the players, you'd think that there'd be someone trying to tear it up to get the opportunity for us to maybe do what Arsenal did and found all those youngsters when, you know, COVID hit and everything else, you know, and they got lucky. We don't have that luck, but, you know, maybe, yeah, it comes down to what's happening with them. It's the whole thing still, like you're saying, it's the whole thing from top to bottom. It's just, there's no plan. The under 23s, there's no plan to bring them into the first team. The scouts, there's no plan in. This is what we need, but we'll go and fucking pull Emerson and Hill and all these players out of nowhere and sign them when we know what we need. And yeah, like you said about Bentancur and Kulishevsky, we didn't need them. Yes, so we're pleased that they're here. Yes, they're making improvement, but they're not what we need. We know what we need, but we need to go to point A, but we're going to point C for whatever reason, you know.
I would have been fine to bring on Harvey White instead of Harry Winks, fine, but that's largely because of how poor Harry Winks has been, not because there's a lot that because I don't know how you could have seen anything from Harvey White to say like this is a guy pushing into the team. So I'm not really like, for me, it's hard for me to say, oh yeah, let's bring in Harvey White, let's bring in Alfie Devine, when it seems like we're bringing them in because they can't, you know, saying that let's bring them in because they can't be worse isn't a great argument in my view, right? And especially like Scarlett and Devine, if they didn't play a Premier game for 2 years and then came into the league, they'd be 19 and still two of the youngest players in the league, right? Like, I don't think it's crazy to say they're not ready, and there's nothing wrong with them at 17 not being ready to play in these games. I would also say I'm not sure bringing these guys in when our team is such a mess right now, right? Like you see Liverpool brings in Harvey Elliott. I don't know how young he is. I think he's fairly young, right? But they bring him into a side where which is working well, which has Firmino, Mane, Salah up front. He's playing beside Henderson and Fabinho or Thiago Alcantara, right? So he's going into a side that's functioning. So when he goes in there, he just has to slide in, work well with them, learn his time. If we're putting Harvey White into that team in Middlesbrough, where we're a disaster, where Winks and Højbjerg are doing nothing in midfield, and then asking him not to just fit into a team that's working, we're not giving him a limited role where he gets time to work. He has to go in there and perform, or else, you know what? There's nobody there that can carry him, because we've already seen that. There's nobody outside of Kane and Son. If those guys aren't doing well, nobody else steps up and does anything. If Harvey White comes in at 20 years old with 0 senior men's minute, I think, right? And then we're asking him who's going to be there. Højbjerg isn't going to be steady beside him because he's struggling already against Middlesbrough. You know what I mean? And so how are we going to bring these guys and develop them if our team of senior men, our top guys, right, professionals, aren't even able to function? Now, hey, youngster, you come in and fix all our problems.
The challenge is, Scott, when you bring through young players, you don't know what's going to happen. I like to use Arsenal as a good example because it's recent and it's evident. They brought through roughly the same time Nate Lamals, Willock, Saka, Balogun, Nketiah, and Smith Rowe. There's 5 or 6 young players that all roughly broke through at the same time. And Arsenal were in the mud. Absolute shit show. Nate Lamar's has gone. Balogun's on loan. I think Nketiah's somewhere there. Willock went to Newcastle. Out of the 6, only 2 players broke through. Smith Rowe and Saka. But look how outstanding they had to be to break through. They're 2 of the best players in the squad. So we can bring through Harvey White, but you got to give him 7, 8, 9, 10 games, even when it's going wrong. And then you'll know. And if it doesn't work, you got to do like we did with Kane. Send him out on loan. Bring him back and try again. You never know, man. This is the one thing with young players. You don't know how they will make that leap to men's football. So with Harvey White, my worry is if we bring him on as an attempt to try and fix a problem, we're asking for trouble. Whereas if we're bringing him on to say, right, this is your chance for the next 2 months to make the leap, then I get it. But is Conte going to keep playing a player that doesn't quite click for? I don't think he can, because he'll lose games. And he's under immense pressure to win games. Whereas Arteta, clearly, we look back now, he was never getting sacked. There was 2 occasions Arsenal went on a horrendous run. Absolutely shocking run. All the fans turned on him. Everyone turned on him. The board never sacked him. So it's clear that all along the board had made a decision, whether we sink or swim, we're backing you. And over time you're going to clear the deck, change the mentality, bring in the players that we need, and then we'll judge. And it looks like it's going to pay off. And in that environment, the youngsters have survived. Whereas at Tottenham, Scarlett comes on for 10 minutes, right, fuck off for a month. Comes on for 5 minutes, piss off for 10 months. You can't bring through young players like that.
And all goes back to, like you said, no plan, right? Nothing from, because there's no plan.
Yeah.
Nope. No plan. Never a plan.
But yeah, I agree. I hate giving those guys any credit, and it might not work out, but at the very least, you could say that it seems like there was a plan, right? They had a plan, and it might not turn out. They might still suck because they're a crap club, but at least there's a plan. There's something you can point to. And actually, if you don't mind, I just want to go back to something you guys were talking about way long ago, kind of about Levy and what he's doing. And we're talking, Stell, about, like you said, if we do this, we might not compete for the title, right? If we make the changes you want, we might not compete for a title, but we could win trophies. We could do that. And for me, it's even, I mean, obviously I want to win trophies. I want to compete. But for me, like, if we set it up so that Levy was out, we get him out and we get football people in and we have a plan, even if we didn't win trophies, I would still be disappointed, but at least I would feel like we're doing things the right way, and I'd be a lot more happy about it, because at least we're doing things properly, right? At least you're seeing changes made, and people are making decisions for footballing reasons, not financial reasons. And I just, like, that's what frustrates me the most, is that
Scott,
every
this
time
club,
we see these things, they're not football reasons. There's no planning. There's no, you know what?
This
There's
club,
no reason to it.
This club has lost its way for 30 years, okay? 30 years this club has lost its way, its identity, its glory. We are completely living off the past, completely, right? And the only chance we had was Poch. I don't know how. Maybe it was timing. Maybe we bought the right players. Maybe it was everything coming together. Somehow, Poch brought it back. And by not backing Poch in those 2 years when Liverpool did and we didn't, we fucked up the biggest chance we've ever had in 30 years. And we will never get that back now with the level of competition unless we throw insane money at it, which won't happen.
Yeah.
We blew it. We completely blew it.
It was Poch doing his thing, and also Harry Kane, because, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think you know the youth guys obviously better, but Harry Kane was never supposed to be this good, was he, coming up through the ranks? Like we got a bit lucky that he's overachieved from what was expected from him.
Yeah,
as a
yeah.
youth
Like
player,
like
right?
I
It
said, you
wasn't-
never know. You never know.
So yeah, so that helped, right? Like that's the thing where I'm looking at going forward is we had Kane kind of turn out of nothing. If they would have developed Kane and he would, you know what I mean, then I would have some trust that we can do it again. But we've shown no indication at all that we can replace Kane or Son with anything close to their talent, let alone equal.
Yeah.
So how like that again when it goes to planning, it's like what are we doing going forward? Because
There was no
Keane
backup
stays
for Danny
for as long
Rose.
as he wants, right? There's no,
There was no backup for
he's leaving.
the centre backs. There was no backup for Dembele. There was no backup when Eriksen got injured. We
No,
had
it's
a
all-
good first 11. The squad was average. They didn't back Poch. They simply didn't back him. And the chance has completely gone.
The backup
We're
at
so
their
far
time-
back.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
That's what I
and
said.
we are talking about does Conte? We're going to have to spend 200 million this time, 100 million this time, 200 million in the next summer, right? And we have to do all that with basically zero money coming in because where are we getting money unless we sell Kane and Son? Who else? Like you know what? Like, we have nobody else worth any. Is there anybody other than Kane and Son? Oh, okay, and Romero, but these are the guys you would want to keep, right? Anyone outside of that, of the guys that we want to keep that we can get more than 20? Like, how much do we get for Dyer right now? How much can we get for Sanchez? How much can we get for Mora, Bergwijn? All the guys we're talking about wanting out. So nobody's going for more than 20 million. Maybe you're lucky you can get Bergwijn to go for 25 million to Ajax, right? But it's going to be trying to buy all these players that we need in with almost nothing that we're selling. Like, I mean, our Liverpool, they made the right moves at the right time, but they also sold Coutinho for way over value. We have nobody like that we're selling, unless we move players that we
Yeah, they took a
don't want
big.
to move.
They took a risk on that one. But again, this is what I mean about Levy's a prudent owner. Will he take that kind of risk? Do you see Daniel Levy selling Kane for 120 million and buying two superstars for 60 million? Or do you see him selling Kane? He's forced to sell Kane for 120 million and he goes and buys 5 players for 25 million each.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Well, he's already done that with Bale, the Gareth Bale money.
He did it under Mourinho. We spent 120 million and he brought in 7 players. Every single one of them was dog shit. Except for arguably, and it's just an argument, Højbjerg. Because he splits opinion as well.
Wait, who did he sign? Was Højbjerg, Doherty?
Rodon, Carlos Vinicius,
Rodon.
Reggie. There's 2 others.
Bale?
Doherty,
Bale.
Bale, yeah.
Long? Yeah.
Bale, who he
No,
didn't want,
there's
and put him on the
someone
bench for 3 months.
There's someone else, but
Bergwijn came in January. I don't know if that's
yeah,
Højbjerg.
Højbjerg.
No, was the first one I said, I think. So wait, Højbjerg, Carlos Vinicius, Doherty, Rodon, Bale, Region. There's one left.
Barry's about to pass out.
Yeah. No, I was gonna end the stream in a way because we're always 2 hours and a half here. So
Call it a night, man. We're just repeating what every other show says every other day. it's the same. It's the same fucking content on every channel every day.
Well, it's the only thing we had to say. I mean,
It's unbelievable, isn't it? You could go back 4 years ago. It's the same conversation.
Well, funny that I just checked my memories 2 years ago. Norwich FA Cup getting knocked out. It's like Middlesbrough all over again. Fucking hell.
Do you know what cracked me up? I was listening to one of the podcasts that I called out today on Twitter, and they were saying how Mourinho has to go. He's lost the dressing room. Losing to Norwich is unacceptable in the FA Cup. The football's not good enough. And then I'm sitting there watching Middlesbrough outplay us, outpassion us, outscore us, and knock us out the FA Cup. And fans beginning to question Conte's tactics. And I'm like, you fucking idiots.
I'm just saying. It's like it's.
Can I ask you all a question?
Yeah,
Looking back now, do you think Mourinho was hard done by at Spurs?
Yes.
yeah, he was.
Nope.
Why not, Scott?
I guess it means by what do you mean by hard done by? I think
Well, every fan wanted him out, saying he wasn't
yeah.
good enough. He was bad. He lost the dressing room, and it wasn't the players' fault. It was his fault.
Okay. I mean that's. I don't think that it was all his fault. Obviously, the players hundred were also responsible for it. We've seen it. I don't think it was like replace Jose and now all of a sudden we're going top of the league. But I do think that for me, it's clear that he was making that place toxic. I think he's done it almost everywhere that he's gone. I think if you see now that he's gone to Roma, they look to be pretty much the same kind of team as they were previously under Fonseca. I just think that his style doesn't work. I also think that part of the reason, and this is speculation, I think part of the reason he might have got the job was he told Daniel that he could win with these players. And I think that some of the stuff that went on was his own choice trying to get in back to the game, right? And he was willing to accept it because he wanted to get back in. So that's part of the reason why I think he has to take some of the blame.
Didn't Daniel Levy in the Amazon documentary say he's one of the 2 best managers in the world, and he can't miss out on an opportunity like this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean I guess it's
So I'm not so sure
I'm one of the
Mourinho
most
sold it. I
vocal
think Levy
anti-
was looking
Jose
for it.
guy, right? So, but I'll say this: even as one of the most anti-Jose guy, it wasn't fully on him, for sure. I think that maybe he did get too much stick. People saying that it was how much he was to blame, but I do think it was the right move to sack him. I don't think things were going to ever get better under him. I think even if we would have given him better players, I don't think it would have got much better. I think he's still the same toxic person. I think that we've seen, like I said, how he's done at Roma, even how he did at United, that he's just not is not a good fit. I don't think he's the manager that he was. Not fully because of all to blame him. I think the game's just changed since he had his massive success. And we aren't seeing teams having that same level of success playing his style that they did. But
Sorry, Ellie in the comments, just to clarify,
This
I'm
one?
not calling fans fucking idiots because they're questioning the manager or the players. I'm calling fans fucking idiots who keep on blaming every single manager and the players every single year as the problem. That's I'm calling people, and I stick to that. I think you're a fucking idiot if you're going to blame Conte for the current run we're on.
And do you know what's funny? Because
What
people are
manager
gonna,
comes in and does better with this lot? Name one manager.
bro, you can
Klopp finished. Let's have it out. Look at the elite managers. Jurgen Klopp in his first season finished 7th. 7th. And over 5 years, he changed every single player. Pep Guardiola in his first season just scraped top 4 and lost 4-0 to Everton away. These are elite managers. So I'm not having Conte being blamed for this. Every elite manager that's gone to a club in their first season has struggled because they haven't got their players. Once Klopp spent 4 years rebuilding the squad, he was successful. Once Pep spent £250 million in his first transfer window, he won the league. Come on, man. Like, what? How are we going to question Conte?
And it's funny because people are gonna come out to the social medias and say, "Oh, Conte needs to change his tactics." Fans need to change their tactics as well because they're always going like, "Oh, when we dipped under Pochettino, they were saying, yeah, maybe Pochettino is not getting a tune out of these players anymore. Maybe he's not that guy." We had to make a choice. It was either the players they stay, we bring in another manager who maybe gets something out of them, or you back Pochettino and you sell the players. We chose the players, nothing improved. Jose Mourinho, the same thing. He was saying these players are not good enough. Same players, different managers, same results. We chose the players again, nothing has improved. Antonio Conte is doing the same. And what Stella is saying is absolutely spot on. You're a fucking idiot if you're still going after the manager. And then you do the same with Antonio Conte. Then Graham Potter comes in. You do the same with Potter. You do the same with Guardiola, with Klopp, with even if it was Sir Alex Ferguson, people would do the same. And like you look at Harry Winks, he's never done anything good for us. I tweeted this today and actually got almost 2,000 likes on Twitter. I don't know how. It was only a joke. It was saying Prime Sissoko was much better than any version of Harry Winks. And when I say Prime Sissoko is him in 2019, like even Sissoko is better than Harry Winks. Why are you going to defend him and not Antonio Conte?
Didn't Antonio Conte change to a back four against Middlesbrough and we got worse?
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he took off Sessignon and put Bergwijn as an attacking midfielder.
So everyone on Twitter, everyone on social media now is a football coaching expert. They're all tactical wizards. You know, if you just change the formation, all the players will be better. There you go. That's the problem. They're not actually bad players. It's just the formation that they're playing in. If you just move them a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right,
2 yards to the left, and he's going to be.
they'll suddenly be able to dribble and shoot and defend. Did you see the goal that Middlesbrough scored? There was 5 players that all went to the ball. It was exactly what happened against Wolves.
And then Emerson marking the penalty spot.
What's that got to do with tactics, people? What has that got to do with tactics, people? Come on.
Yeah.
It's a lack of intelligence from the football player. If you can't recognise the danger, if you can't communicate, that is not tactics. That's just... Do you know what? I can't.
It's a lot of the...
If I say any more, everyone's going to hate me, I'm telling you.
It's a lot of the complaints about Conte, though, right? Still, like they'll say, we got to go to a back four because Emerson sucks and Doherty suck as wingbacks. But it's like they suck as fullbacks too, right? So if we go to a back four, you still suck. They're like, yeah, but... or you say, well, he has to change the midfield because Wink sucks. And it's like, but there's no other option. Yeah, but, right? There's no... When you actually question all these people saying how bad Conte's doing, and you're like, well, what... And then they just say, just do this. And you say, but that doesn't work.
It's
And
true.
but they don't go any further than that,
Bentancur
right?
and
Like,
Skip are both injured. What do you want him to do? You're right.
we go to a back four because our wing backs are bad, but they're bad as fullbacks as well, right? It's not like they're great fullbacks. They're bad
fine.
players.
You can also talk about the substitutions. People were saying, "Oh, he made mistakes with substitutions." Who does he have on the bench to bring into the game?
Yeah.
Bergwijn is the only recognized senior forward he has on the bench. If it's not him, it's the fullbacks. What do you want him to do? And then if he brings on a youngster and the youngster fails, oh yeah, Conte is dumb because he brought in a youngster who was not ready to play in that type of game. So some people will have this narrative that is always the manager. I was saying this under Jose Mourinho. I was not in the streaming community yet, but my Twitter was, I was saying this. Doesn't matter what the manager does, he will get the blame because these fans are blind. They are stupid.
Do you know, there's a very fine line between having an opinion and just like heads gone. If you had an opinion that the sky is orange, what do you want me to say? If the sky is clearly blue and you're saying, no, my opinion is orange, what the hell do you want me to say? Like, where do we go from there? Where's the conversation go? If it was one manager, 2 managers, 3 managers, even 4 managers, I'd say they were just bad managers. But number 16, we are on manager number 16, and there are fans who are criticising Conte. There's one guy called Mr. Spurs, right? He's completely pro Enoch. I'm the opposite. But we always have a decent chat on shows, right? I haven't called him out. Because at least he is, I'm Enoching, I'm not getting behind protest. Fair play. Like, at least you're honest. And I was on a stream with him on Chris's channel, and he said, if we set up with the right tactics, we'll win the game. And I'm thinking, but it's players that win games, not tactics.
Yeah.
Quality players win games. That's why, you know, when Messi or Ronaldo, they go from different... Like, Ronaldo's played for a lot of clubs. Have all those clubs played the same tactics? No. But has Ronaldo done well at every club? Yeah. Why? Because the player's quality. You know, whether you play with a back 3 or a back 4, it's a slight difference. It's not this humongous change. Whether you play with 2 in midfield or 3, again, there's slight changes. They're not guaranteed to win you games. What's guaranteed to win you games is if your fucking players turn up and they play like they did against Man City. You cannot fault one Spurs player against Man City, not one. They played to the best of their ability, they stuck to the plan, and look what happened. But then, go look at Middlesbrough. Absolute dog shit, man.
It was.
Which proves that Man City is a one-off. Liverpool at home was a one-off. The majority of games are the true reflection. That's why the league table is the best barometer of your quality as a team. The league table doesn't lie. Where are we currently in the table? I don't know.
7th, I think. I think we overtook
7th?
Wolves. Yeah, we're 7th. Yeah.
Okay, so we're a Europa Cup Conference League squad. That's where we are. That's the position we're in. We are a European Conference League leveled club. So why are we questioning Conte? Mourinho finished 7th. Nuno, I don't know where we were, 10th before he got sacked. Poch was 15th when he got sacked. Are all these managers stupid? They don't know how to change tactics to win games. Is that where we're at now? We are going to look at elite level, some of the greatest managers in the game. Poch, Jose, Conte. The reason they're failing is because they don't change the tactics. Honestly, I don't know. I think a lot of us fans have lost the plot. I think Levy's got to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I remember a video. It was a talk of between Henri and the journalist. He was teaching how Pep Guardiola used to manage, and Thierry Henry said, the first thing Pep Guardiola took to the team is, I'm gonna teach you how to get the ball to the final third. After you get into the final third, it's your job to score the goal. You create the chance, you finish, you do whatever you need to do to score the goal. My job is to set you up to get to the final third. I'm not gonna teach you how to score the goal. I'm not gonna teach you how to finish. You need to know this. I'll take you to the final third. From there, the game is yours. This is Pep Guardiola. You cannot teach these guys how to finish. They are professional footballers. They should know how to play football. I mean, there's this video going around Twitter of Harry Winks. The guy can't even make a tactical foul to stop a transition. Like it's ridiculous. You see these things, and if you go to a Sunday League game, you see guys doing it.
Thiago, the problem is because we've got Son, Kane and Romero, 3 excellent players. Because of those 3 players, a lot of Spurs fans just assume, right, that's it, we've got the quality. But the problem is it's 11 aside. And when you go to Middlesbrough and 2 of those 3 don't turn up, we're in trouble. Kane and Son had a bad night. So now you're depending on the other 9 players, who only one of them is good, to get you the win. You're fucked. You're absolutely fucked. Same happened at Burnley. We go to Burnley, we've got Romero, Son and Kane. They're the only 3 top players available on that night. Bentancur went off injured. Skip isn't available. Right? So if they don't perform, we are screwed. So this concept of we've got the quality to beat Burnley, we've got if Son and Kane turn up. Because if they don't, I'm sorry, we don't have the quality. How many times have Son and Kane saved us this season, man? How many times have they saved us? If they don't have a good game, this team... Do you all agree if Son and Kane left tomorrow, we are a relegation side? Or we're definitely mid-table at best?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't
Yeah,
finish
if
the
you're
top
saying
10.
you just take them off with no replacement for sure, because we have no. But yeah, they're but that's not just this season. How long? Like that's been going on since the end of Poch's season when Eriksson started to decline, right? How long
I
have we
think
been?
I think Luka 14 summed it up perfectly. So we're slightly better than mid-table because of Son and Kane.
If we get top 6, it's because of Son and Kane.
Yeah, it is.
And I would add Romero into the mix because I think he is proving to be good, man. I do like Romero, I have to say, but he's one good defender out of what, 5 at the back, 4? I don't even know how many we play with anymore.
And you see holes in his game because the other players aren't good enough around him, right? So he gets put into bad positions or he does something, and there's nobody there to clean up, right? If he makes a mistake, then he's fucked. because nobody else can cover for that mistake, and then people start getting on his case. Same thing with Kane and Son, right? They have a poor game. There's nobody there to kind of pick up the slack so that we can kind of focus away. So if they have a poor game, we lose, and then people start in on Kane and Son because if we have a poor game, nobody else does anything, right? And it's
People
the same. It's just
listen. You're right, and people think certain players are better than what they are. People still praise Steven Bergwijn. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. He came on, he gave us 10 minutes, and the best thing he did was he went past 3 players, he gets into a shooting position, and what does he do? I'm not going to use my left foot, I need to put it on the right foot. And he fucks it up. How can you not shoot with the correct foot? And we're going to say Harry Kane and Son, they always shoot with the best foot in the situation. They can shoot with the left and the right foot. That's why they're quality at finishing. And they hit the target in the right place. Bergwijn, he does all the hard work. Shoot. And he needs another touch because he doesn't want to shoot with his... I'm like, oh my God. And then people want to say, but we do have the quality. We don't have the quality.
they did against Watford. Sanchez saved us because Son put the cross right onto the middle of his head. Like that's a little. I mean,
It's one game. It's one game. It's one game. Everyone has one moment.
Bergwijn got those 2 goals late because after like the fact, like I don't. Okay.
See, all these games Ellie's mentioning are one-offs.
Yeah.
I think
And
Reggie
Son
this
and
year...
Kane are largely involved in all those plays, right? Like
Son's the top goal scorer. Harry Kane's the second top goal scorer and probably the number 1 for assists. As for Reggie, I think Reggie's had a terrible season by his from what he looked like when he first joined us. I think this year he's been a shadow of that player.
Agree.
I don't think he's been as bad, but I also like him, so I could be a little bit biased that way. But I also think, like a lot of our players, he looks better because of how bad everybody else is around him, right? Like,
When I say one-offs, Ellie, I'm talking about one-offs per player. So you mentioned Reggie saved us in that one game. Okay, Reggie had one good game. Sanchez saved us against Watford. Okay, Sanchez had one good game against Watford. The only consistent players I've seen in this team all year long, and I'm talking since Conte come, is Son, who gets a lot of stick, Kane, Romero. I'll put Dyer in the mix because Dyer's actually been all right, but the rest. What did you say, Stel? What is that?
Oh.
Kane, top of assists. Son is
Of course, Mel was going to know who was going to know, mate. You know.
Listen, fair play. It just further proves that how important Son and Kane are.
Exactly.
And if the stats show that Son is even more important, when he has a howler against Middlesbrough, look, we're completely screwed. So, I don't think there's many players in this. Like for me, there's only 6 players I'd keep. I'm going to say Lloris, but I'm still not sure. Lloris, Romero, Bentancur, Skip, Son, and Kane. If every other player left, I wouldn't care, but I'm prepared to give Kulu a chance because he has shown he's capable. So those 7, I'd say stay. Every other player for me needs to go. If we're serious about becoming a force, if we're serious about, and I think Jurgen Klopp did the exact same thing at Liverpool. He cleared every one of those players out. Not one player survived the chop. Not one.
I think only Henderson survived.
Sorry, you're right. Yes, Thiago. Henderson survived. Out of a 25-man squad, 1 player survived. 1. I'm being brave by saying there's 6 or 7. So I don't see how we can blame Conte when there's only and out of those 6 players I mentioned, 2 are injured, man. Two typical, isn't it? Typical.
So, guys, on that note, I think we should end the stream. It's late. It's almost 3 hours already. And I was going to say something. Oh, yeah. Stella was saying I would only keep 7 players. If you look at the size of the job we have, it's scary because we have to sign almost 2 complete teams to compete for top 4. I mean, we need backup goalkeeper. We need two right wing backs, two left wing backs. We need at least 5 or 6 centre backs. We need 2 or 3 midfielders, backup striker, backup wingers. We need at least one player in every
Two creative
position.
mids, two goal scoring mids.
We're fucked. That's man. From now on, I'm gonna give myself to international football because if we don't have Neymar on the left, we have Vinicius Junior. If we don't have Rafinha, we have Anthony. We have all these guys. I'm not gonna lose my hair with Spurs
You
anymore because
still got Emerson Royale,
Emerson
Thiago,
at
so
right
there
back.
you go.
you know.
I think Thiago, the biggest worry if it was to happen is if we lost Kane or Son in the summer. I think that will do more damage than anything else because
Who do you think would make the most? Just very quickly, just one name. Who do you think would make more of a? I forgot the word. Which one would be worse to lose, Kane or Son?
Right, like for this season or in the summer?
Yeah, in the summer. Let's say in the summer, one of them gets sold. Which one do you think would make, like,
In
not
the
only on the
summer,
pitch but also outside?
I think in the summer it would be Kane because I think it's harder to replace Kane right now. But I think for this season, I don't know either one. I mean, it's six of one or half a dozen of the other. We can't afford to lose either because we have no. Again, like I've said, we've shown no ability to replace either one. Like I say, it's harder to replace Kane just because it seems like there's an elite tier of strikers who we're not going to get, right? The Hollands, we just saw with Vlahovic. So then you're going a step down, and those guys, they just seem to be kind of hit and miss whether they're any good. But at the same time, if we lose Son, who are we bringing in to replace Son, right? Like,
well,
we could hope.
the player we should have bought to replace him has gone to Liverpool.
But even Diaz, like Diaz would be nice to have, but I don't trust that he's going to be able to replace Son. But yeah, I don't like. I get that's if we lose either one of them, do you have any faith? Even if we had unlimited funds, I guess maybe Mbappe, but like, I'm not even sure if you had unlimited funds, you would be sure that you're bringing in somebody that matches what either one of them brings, right? They're that good in my view. Is that even if we brought in Vlahovic and got rid of Kane, I mean, he's looked pretty good, but are you sure that he's going to do exactly not exactly, but that level that Kane is? I don't know. Even Rafinha, who we all love and Thiago loves a lot, he's a right winger. But you know what I mean? Like if you replace Son on the team with Rafinha, who cares if he's left or right wing, right? He can, right? It doesn't matter. But would you trust that Rafinha is going to bring as much as Sonny brings? Like,
Yeah,
that's a good
scoring
player.
12, 13 goals a season. I mean, he's not as good as Son because Sonny, for example, last season he scored 17. But Rafinha is.
I mean, I'd love Rafinha. I'm just saying, even with somebody who I think everybody here would love to have. I don't know. I haven't heard Barry or Stell, but he's a good player, right? And who's premier proven.
He's great.
Even
man.
bringing him in doesn't guarantee that that's the risk with these two guys, especially the risk when, as Stell said, we should have brought in Diaz. We bring in Diaz now. We get to see him. We have an idea of what he does. Now we're bringing in guys cold because we don't ever replace, right? Liverpool can bring in Diaz. They bring in Jota. Now they know if Mane or Salah leave, well, they have two guys who they probably feel fairly comfortable about replacing them. And instead, we just do nothing, and we'll hope and pray when those guys leave because we have no plan.
I would personally sell Kane because I think for the money you can buy another quality striker. Whether he'll be as good as Kane is different, but there are strikers out there. There's Lautaro Martinez. There's Isak. There's
I like Jonathan David from Lille.
Jonathan David, yeah. There's the striker even at Blackburn. There's players out there. There's players that could come in and play the role. But I think if we lose Son, I don't know any midfielder that scores the amount of goals Son does in the midfield every single year, and creates the amount of goals. I mean, unless we find a De Bruyne, but even then he's not as consistent. I don't think.
No.
Son needs 5 assists to be the first player in Premier League history to have double-digit goals and assists in 3 consecutive seasons.
But I think there shouldn't be I don't think there should be a divide or a debate about Son or Kane. I personally think they're both equally as vital to Tottenham, and it proves it because they're the best. They're now the official best ever partnership up front in Premier League history. So I think they go hand in hand. They complement one another. I think if you take Kane away, I think Son's stats would dip. And I think if you take Son away, I think Kane's stats would dip. I think they make each other really good as well. So I don't know. I don't know
Fair
about
point.
this. I don't. Well, they're a partnership. Look at the record, man. The record doesn't lie, right?
But only, I mean, we're about to end the stream, so only one name. But between the fans, which one do you think the fans would hate the most to see leaving? I would
Harry
say Son.
Winks. Harry Winks.
Emerson Royale.
No, I'm.
Has anyone bought a Spurs shirt? Have you ever seen anyone with Emerson Royale on the back of their shirt at Spurs?
No.
No,
I haven't seen one.
maybe not if his family has. But yeah.
That's brutal, Thiago. That's brutal.
Even, I,
Even they're embarrassed to have a Spurs shirt with his name on the back.
I gave up after the game against Ecuador. It was like, oh my god, a Spurs player starting for Brazil. 20 minutes, the guy gets sent off. I'm like, pissed off. Done. At least we have other good players, and we're winning the World Cup still because we're gonna play Daniel Alves. Like a 38-year-old Daniel Alves is 100 times the player Emerson is.
If a Brazilian thinks you're bad, Emerson, then you're bad.
You're bad. You're bad. So we're about to end the stream. Barry, where can everyone find you? Barry, Nick, Sean.
It's been a long night because we had 3 and a bit hours on our show earlier. Thursday nights, 7:30. We had Steve Perriman on this evening. Go back and catch that. Listen to the values that he talks about. And we certainly could do with people like him being in and around the club and a lot more, and getting more of their, getting the values and from Bill, Nick, and the people before the nonsense that we've had with Enoch. And just anywhere else. So on here, Persuasion, anywhere else that will have me on. Thank you for having me on. Like, subscribe to Thiago's channel, to Tottenham Away, to all the other channels. We are kind of, it's a bit like Groundhog Day at the moment, because like Stel said about 10 minutes ago, we're talking about the same things every single time. But let's get behind the boys, and especially Conte, and let's get a win on Monday night. So and the most important thing is that we'll all be together, and we'll get to commiserate or celebrate together on Monday night. So thank you, and come on, you Spurs.
And we're probably going to commiserate a Dele Alli hat trick,
I've already said that, Thiago. Don't. You're the second person now.
Stel, Tottenham Away.
Yeah, we'll be going live on Monday night from prison. I'll be in Brixton Penitentiary in South London, in the mentally unstable ward. I think I do get access to the internet for 2 hours, so I'll use it for the pod. I'll make sure I use it on YouTube. Nah. Jokes aside, I'm going to prison on Saturday. What day is it today? I'm so ill. Thursday. Friday. Right.
Friday. For me, it's
Okay.
Thursday still.
Right, so we might do a show on Sunday previewing the match on Monday, because we can't do our Monday pod again because Spurs are playing Everton unless we do a really, really late show. So we're either going to do a show on Monday or Sunday. I don't know. But whatever happens, we're definitely doing the usual United Spurs of America show on Tuesday. And Saturday, if all goes to plan, I'll be doing a show on Henry Wright TV where I'm going to address the comments that I've made again. And I think Henry's going to ask me some questions, and people in the comments can ask me questions. And I'm not going to be volatile. I'm not going to lose my mind or nothing like that.
What time is it going to be?
I promise I won't be. I will speak the truth, though, and I won't hold back from the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what time yet. I'll put a tweet out. I'll put a message out to everyone on WhatsApp and Twitter and whatnot. But big up everyone in the channel, even if we disagree. Big up all yourselves for supporting Tottenham. Please, if you can, I beg you, take some action, man. We gotta change the environment at Tottenham. It's just gone on for too long, and it's just fucking depressing seeing those wankers down the road. After 6 years of dominating them, they've now leapfrogged us, and even during their shit period, they won 2 FA Cups. And they've got the record of FA Cups which we had before Enoch. We had that record, and it's gone. And if Arsenal get top 4, it will be the biggest kick in the fucking teeth ever. Given that we had the stadium, we had the money, we had everything going for us. So let's just step up our game as fans and do something about it. What's the worst that can happen? So that's it. Otherwise, big up Barry, big up Scott M, big up Tiago, big up everyone's channels, and make sure you follow everyone on the show.
And finally, we have Scott M. I don't think you're on.
No,
have the channel today.
I'm not on any channel. I'm often in the chat causing trouble, calling Stell out for his marginal tactical knowledge and having fun with the shelf side Spurs boys. I like to go and chat with them whenever, and always, of course, Colin and Tiago love this channel. I just wanted to let Will know if he's there. I liked one of your tweets. I got your back on Twitter now, Will. So hopefully that's good enough. And yeah, big up to the show. I think, we said we keep talking about the same stuff. It's because we don't want to talk about the football and all the problems that we've had for years haven't changed, right? And I think we all hope that we don't have to keep talking about the same stuff because we'll be excited about the football. Yeah. We'll be excited about the club, and the problems that we've seen for years will finally be fixed. I don't have any hope that that's going to happen, but it sure would be nice. So thanks for having me on, Tiago. Colin, if you're still sticking around, I hope you're feeling better, and good to chat with you guys. Nick and Stell, always great.
Yeah. So to everyone in the chat, thank you for being here with the stream with us tonight. It was really nice. Really enjoyed it. We were going down to 2 hours, but today we've been on for 3 hours. It means that the talk was really good. Stell, thanks for coming on. Barry, Scott M, thank you guys for being here with us tonight. Colin had to jump off a little bit earlier. He's been struggling with his shoulder. He's going to have surgery next week, so let's all pray and hope everything will be fine. Oh, wow. And a very speedy recovery to Colin. I don't know if I'm going to watch the Everton game because I'm going to be traveling to sort out everything to move for college, so maybe I won't be able to watch the game. I hope I'm not, because I don't want to go through that shit again. But if I do, I'm going to be in lots of channels talking about the game, and of course I'm going to be here talking ball. On Monday we're probably not going to have the show because of the game, so we're probably going to come back on Tuesday and then on Thursday again. So make sure to subscribe, like the video, enable the notifications so you don't lose any stream. You also have the Patreon and the PayPal that Colin created that I didn't even know, but apparently we have. And as Stell said, it's all about the money. We still don't have super chats, so we have to do PayPal. So yeah, and also we have. Oh, sorry, Stell, go on.
I was going to say, don't forget, fan base out.
And also we are on 186 subscribers, which means we are 14 subscribers away from 200. So if you haven't subscribe please, and share the channel with your friends so more people can come. Everybody is welcome. Levy in, Levy out, fan base in, fan base out. As long as you're not a dickhead or an Arsenal fan or a Chelsea fan or a West Ham fan, you're more than welcome in our channel. So we love you all. Everybody in the chat, big love. Everybody who liked the stream, was with us. Big up, everyone. Have a great night and see you next week.
Come on, you Spurs.